For those of you not watching the live streams night in and night out, you might not know that Jonah Coleman's coming. For those of you not watching the live streams the last handful of days, you may not have heard or know that Sean Payton is treating Jonah Coleman like a co-starter. Meaning, when he had him on the field and he saw a couple reps, he said when he got to the podium after to the reporters, I'd seen enough, and I had seen confirmation of what I've seen the last, handful of weeks. I didn't need to see anything further. I pulled him out of the game. You do that with players you deem and consider to be starter caliber players to keep them healthy. I mean, LaFleur should probably learn a little bit from that after, giving 14 touches to Jeremiah Love after we already saw Bijan Robinson emerge from the man on the field. But neither here nor there. We're here to talk about Jonah Coleman, how Jonah Coleman's ADP is going to rise soon, but he's kind of protected into a territory where you're not going to have to overpay. He'll definitely not be the same price going forward, but this is my most drafted player by far. I'd venture to say there's probably a few people that have like a crazy saturation of like a player on Underdog, but I would say on Underdog, promo code Smitty will be drafting tonight. Underdog will match your first deposit 50%. Hit that link that's in the description of the video or use code Smitty. I venture to say that there's probably very few people on the entire Underdog platform that have more of a saturation of one individual player than I do of Jonah Coleman. It's in the 70s, probably breaching about 81% right now on Underdog. That's how much Jonah Coleman this boy has. And I'll tell you something. I feel like Coleman and Keaton Mitchell are kind of those players that I'm screaming from the rooftop. They're free and they can win you a league. Listen to what I say. Keaton Mitchell, Jonah Coleman, Keaton Mitchell. Don't miss your opportunity to get maybe the next Kyron Williams, the next Puka Nacua, the next player that you can actually draft, though, not race into week one trying to pick up. These are players you have control of, the destiny you have control of. These league winners are sitting there for the taking. The Fantasy Football Show, Jonah Coleman edition. Other news that we got to break down, a little more Breece Hall and Najee Harris and Cam Scattaboo convo. If you missed that earlier, we'll rehash it to a degree. That show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Ladies and gentlemen, if anybody needs any assistance whatsoever, let me just punch the sponsor button here from our pals,
Quadruple J and Consultants.
Did you make a mess on the field? Don't fret. Call the cleanup crew. Call Quadruple J and Consultants.
Locations on Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter.
Look at these monsters. Look at these monsters. The Triple J, Quadruple J, Quintuple J, Sextuple J, and Associates are going to be out for blood, and everybody that doesn't draft these guys are going to be very upset at themselves. A lot of worried Williams. Guys, I can't tell you enough how much I'm excited about. Let me write down these four players. And we're going to do more on this, so don't expect this to be the last video you see on this. But Coleman, Keaton Mitchell, Cyrus the Virus, and also Stribling. Stribs is awesome. Cyrus is awesome. Mitchell, Coleman. These are all not free per se, but technically speaking, the cheapest sleeping giant monsters in fantasy football, period. There's a couple other names I love, I talk about a lot, but these are the four players I'm focusing on lately just to make sure you guys know what in the hell to do when it comes down to the later part of your draft. Mitchell's going in the double-digit rounds. Coleman's going in the 130s to 155 range. Cyrus the Virus is going in the double-digit round range. Stribling's going about 120 overall, 118, 135. Kind of depends on the platform. Right around where Debo's going, you can take both of them. These are league winners. These are double-digit round league winners. You can't ask for more. You can't ask for any more when you say, give me a couple deep sleepers, Smitty. I give you these 4. And they're sleepers for sure. I don't want to hear a single word that these aren't sleepers because they're double-digit round players. These are guys going in the 100s, and they can win you leagues. And I might have to create some sort of CMCs, some sort of acronym with this, CMCs and associate. Maybe Christian McCaffrey is behind a desk, like just managing it. I don't know. We'll come up with something potentially with the Coleman's already part of the quadruple J and associates, but Cyrus and Stribling and Mitchell, that's a good firm. Cyrus, Stribling, and Mitchell, that's pretty good. That's got a nice ring to it. Cyrus, Stribling, and Mitchell. Do you have a mess you need cleaned up? These guys can do it for you. All right, so we'll talk about all these guys throughout the entire show today. Let's start off, though, with Coleman. So let me grab this on screen and drop this right on Coleman's name. Coleman is, let me read the quote to you, didn't need additional evidence of what I've seen for 3 weeks. And basically, Sean Payton, we talked about this the other night when it happened, but we didn't really do a full live stream on it. And since I want to talk about these 4 league winners, I wanted to bring it to your attention again, because some of you aren't consuming every single thing out there that we do. And I do 5-hour shows, 4-hour shows, 3-hour shows. So some things need their own compartmentalized video. This is one of them. And when you see Coleman get treated like a starter by his head coach, Sean Payton, when Sean Payton says things like, didn't need to see additional evidence of what I've seen for 3 weeks, essentially saying, get my starter out of the game. No one's saying he starts week 1 as a lone starting type of situation. JK may not be ready for week 1. And what have we said all along? An injury opens this door to Jonah Coleman. He grabs JK's job, infiltrates it from the insides. And while Harvey could still linger all year and be very effective, just like Mark Ingram, if you remember, over in New Orleans under Sean Payton, was number 9 or 10 in running back scoring Kamara's rookie year. Kamara caught 83 footballs his rookie year and was running back 4. So Kamara was 4, Ingram was 9, and Sean Payton can create this kind of environment. And Davis Webb is even a greater extension of this man. So this is going to be a fantastic situation. But Coleman, if JK, as we've predicted all offseasons, being one of the most injury-prone players in the National Football League, can't get healthy, can't stay healthy, can't start week 1, this man would jump straight into the lineup. If JK can go, then we're probably looking at a slower takeover, but the takeover is happening whether you like it or not, whether you think you've got value in J.K. Dobbins or not. We got a $50 super chat from Hammer over on the Rumble machine.
It's hammer time.
If I ever needed to get Hammer out of a, like a hole or something, it's, let's say he's hidden away hibernating, all I have to do is do a Jonah Coleman live stream, and he will scatter out from wherever he's not that he was hiding anywhere. I'm just saying, if he was, all I'd have to do is kind of like putting the bat signal up. Coleman has been a starter and will remain the starter. Hammer loves Coleman too. This whole channel loves Coleman. But back on track here, and I'll get the other super chats in order in which they're received. Any $20 super chats or above will get immediate attention, just like this one from Joe. Joe, thank you for the $20 super chat. Immediate attention,
alert.
Young man.
Super chat alert.
Luis, thank you for your super chat. He says, I'll listen, watch 10 ads. The show, the best show in the universe. Thank you, Luis. Appreciate you. Yeah, some people that like come in here like turn the ads off. Like, no. It's like, get YouTube Premium. QB, Mahomes, Baker, Tua, Aller, K9, Saquon, Tracy, Pacheco, Ray Davis, Lonnie, Wide receivers, Lamb, Rice, Ladd, Parker, Washington, like the team, Cyrus the Virus, Loveland, Ferguson. Great squad, bro. Great squad. K9's a monster. Saquon's the only player I don't really necessarily agree with, and I wouldn't take, and I wouldn't have taken, and you know that. You've watched my stuff, you know that. So that's on you if you want to go down that road. I don't. I'd trade. That's the only piece I'd trade. I love Rice, love Lamb, love Ladd. Be very intrigued by even maybe throwing Parker Washington and Saquon together to go way, way above Saquon's pay grade. But I would definitely be trying to get into Genty if I was just trading Saquon straight across. I definitely trade into like a running back like Jeremiah Love and upgrade something else, like upgrade P. Wash, and I love P. Wash, but I'm just saying you can do upgrades. That's it all starts with that for me. And then Tig, thank you for the $20 super chat as well. Immediate attention for you, young man.
Super chat alert.
Tig says 12-team PPR pick 1.4. Smitty, how are we feeling about Puka? I mean, Tig, welcome back. I can tell we're welcoming you back to the show because I've talked pretty much about JSN over Puka all offseason. But I still think Puka is deserving of the 1.5, 1.6, but he's probably looking at a one-game suspension at least. He's got a groin injury. He's the most injury-prone wide receiver getting drafted in the top 15, top 20. The most injury-prone player in the top 15 or top 20. And he also has injury concern for Stafford because if Stafford got taken out, then Puka would drop dramatically. So it's JT and, well, it's JSN then JT in that order after the bigger dogs. And then I probably still draft Puka in redraft. He's still worth the risk for sure, but I just move him down a couple spots there. And in Dynasty, I'm not going near him. I'm trading him away. I'm selling high. In Dynasty, I'm not at all interested. Drafting on Sleeper, I can get some insight on the first 3 rounds. I mean, I definitely love going like a potential Pickens and Jeremiah Love, or Pickens and McBride with a running back at 1.4. If you were to, let's say, go JT, you could go JT, Pickens, and McBride. That would be unbelievable. If you go wide receiver JSN, then get if you get Chase Brown or anybody that falls, like Walker falls on ESPN, doesn't fall on Underdog. So it kind of depends where you're drafting. On Sleeper, I don't know where Walker falls. I think he's pretty much higher. But I think Jeremiah Love with McBride or Pickens or Neighbors or London to go with JSN is pretty damn good. As long as you're getting one running back in the first 3 picks. Definitely walk out with Jeremiah Love or Chase Brown or JT. JT solves your problem. Or you could go Genty, but JT solves your problem and then gives you whatever flexibility at Pickens, Neighbors, or Pickens, McBride, or Neighbors, McBride. Those are fantastic avenues. But in general, I'm going JSN without much of a hesitation. Thank you, Hammer, for the 50. Thank you, boys, for the $20 super chats. Joe and Tig, and thank you, Luis, for the super chat. No channel. No, I challenge you. No channel. No content creator. Nobody. No individual has told you about Jonah Coleman more, and this channel will continue to beat that drum. It's happening. It's not a matter of if. It's just when. It's if JK's healthy. This allegiance to him probably remains there and present, but how long? How long? And if he can't stay healthy, it's Jonah Coleman season right away. Like, that's what we've been waiting for. That's the only way he can really get in week 1 and dominate. But there's still a chance if JK is available, but not like Foley himself. They run JK and Coleman in a rotation. Harvey's getting a lot of the third down work. They trust him on third down. You got to understand that even though Jonah Coleman is likely to be a full takeover eventually more than the others do a full takeover, that's the key here. Jonah Coleman has a better chance of infiltrating the entire situation, although Peyton still likes to use multiple running backs, so you still see a potential Harvey production. But if Harvey got injured, or if Harvey and JK got injured, Coleman takes over everything, doesn't relinquish much at all when they return. If JK gets injured, stays injured, can't produce well, and Coleman and JK kind of rotate in week 1, I imagine Coleman getting like 8 carries in week 1, even if JK plays. Again, he's not starting if JK's healthy and playing, or even starting and not as healthy as he wants to be. Coleman's just going to be there in the way. And when Coleman produces, he will, even if JK never gets hurt, Coleman will take JK's job and then take his mom out for dinner, steal his mom, steal his job. There's no way Coleman doesn't take the job over at some point from J.K. Dobbins. It doesn't mean he steals all of Harvey's work, but Harvey's still going to be vulnerable to a degree because of how good Jonah Coleman is. But Harvey still could survive very, very nicely. You got to understand that there's a world where they do coexist. And it doesn't have to be the rise of Coleman means the demise of Harvey, but the one player you bank on is Coleman more than anybody. I don't think I draft Harvey without the intention of grabbing Coleman later. And if I get sniped on it, I feel a little incomplete, I have to admit. But if I don't draft Harvey at all and I just draft Coleman, I feel as complete as can be. So that tells you a little bit of how this situation really leans toward Coleman over all others, is because the standalone value in Coleman is a piece that is satisfying all in its own right. Whereas if you draft Harvey, you are literally drafting Harvey and then going, I need to get Coleman, or you're drafting a incomplete package that may leave you hanging later, and it was just a very small patch that you needed to grab later on in the draft that cost you nothing to patch the Harvey-Coleman combination. But when I pull this board up and I say, what is the best cuff in fantasy? Quite honestly, this has moved back to this territory. The reason why you have Mitchell here is because in the definition of cuff and what we're trying to accomplish here, the most important player in fantasy right now is Mitchell to Hampton in the sense of a cuff, the handcuff board. If we're trying to talk about explosion, who's going to win your league standalone? Little bit different thinking, and Mitchell and Coleman together are win-a-league players in their own right on a different level than everybody else. I would say probably Corum is the next up for that kind of power. I think Gainwell could potentially have that, although Sean Tucker's still going to be quite involved. So Corum and Kyron, that card could leapfrog the Bucky, Gainwell, Tucker, even though they're all four must-haves. But Mitchell and Coleman are the best handcuffs in fantasy football, period. We've said that all offseason. We told you to go get Coleman. I hope you did. And Coleman is going to win leagues. I don't think his ADP climbs as high as, like 80 or 70 or anything like that unless something crazy happens. Like if JK ends up getting diagnosed with something that they've been holding back and he's going to go on IR and everybody knows it, Coleman would probably climb from the 120s and 30s to the 70s or 80s, or maybe even higher. It's hard to really say how the world would react. But until something like that gets in the way, Coleman is a de facto steal. He's a guaranteed monster, even if he climbs to 110, even if he climbs to 100 overall. It doesn't matter. If he's in the hundreds, who cares? This is a player you're getting next to, and I love Debo, but you're getting him next to Debo's. You're getting him next to players in that territory. That's fine. I would take Coleman so high. He feels like Jonathan Brooks, Coleman, and Keaton Mitchell all feel like one and the same. The only concerning part is unfortunately, we're having to grab Brooks higher and higher and higher. I'm still taking him, though. Brooks is still a monster, but Coleman is so far away from climbing outside of the reality of win a league cost, zero cost, complete upside territory. You could climb 30, 40 draft slots. You could climb probably 3 or 4 rounds and you're still not even batting an eye. Brian says, I don't know which Broncos running back to trust. That's what I'm doing here. I've been talking for 18 minutes, Brian. Brian, what if I walked into the TPS report section of the office where you're stamping the TPS reports and I say, I just don't know where I can get a TPS report around here. And you're sitting there stamping away right in front of me. Do I walk into a Jiffy Lube and say, damn wish, you guys know where I can get an oil change around here? What the hell are you talking about? You walk into McDonald's and you say, do you guys know a place that's serving burgers until about 6 p.m. tonight? What in the hell are you talking about, Brian? Guys, sorry I'm late. Sorry, I'm 19 minutes and 42 seconds late. Does anybody know which Broncos running back we should trust? I'm just curious. Mitchell. Keaton, mother freaking Mitchell. League winning monster. But you know what? Before we get to that, let's get to the virus. Let's get to the virus at hand. I've been feeling a little sick. I got to admit. So if you guys don't mind real quickly, I was thinking I might call my doctor's office real briefly. I know some of you say, Smitty, you got to calm down. Your blood pressure's through the roof. It might be your blood pressure, Smitty, but let's just go ahead and give a call over to the doctor's office real quickly. Hang tight. Sorry.
Dr. Rogers' office.
I'm feeling a little chest pain and a little bit of a tummy ache.
First and last name.
He is.
Can you describe what you're experiencing?
I feel like I've got something along Cyrus the virus. The Cyrus 27 or no, the Cyrus 13. Guys, I can't tell you how excited I am about Cyrus Allen. This kid is the real deal. He really is. It's not Cyrus 19, it's Cyrus 13 because he wears number 13, but he's the real deal. I'm going to piss some people off right here. And Husseini, I quite don't understand why you push back on this one so much, to be honest with you. This guy's better than Rashee Rice. Plain and simple. And this is a guy on your team. Husseini, this is also a guy on your team. You can accept this. It's okay. It doesn't take away from Rice. If I said that this pile of cash is worth $220, and then I see another pile of cash right here, and I see this is worth $225, that doesn't make the $220 pile of cash become lesser value. It doesn't make it less money. You know, just because there's something greater there. But Cyrus Allen's the number one wide receiver of this team's future. I don't really care what anybody says. You just don't care. Joe says Smitty didn't answer the question in the super chat. Trade Aller. Okay, sorry, at the end of it. Trade Aller for Gainwell. I'm okay with that. Superflex, I mean, Aller's got upside, but I think I'd take the Gainwell value for sure. Thank you, Joe. Sorry, I didn't see that. This one from Tig. Thank you, Tig, for that $20 super chat as well. I'm going to handle all these other super chats. Overcome, I'm going to get to them real quick. Thoughts on reaching for Loveland at pick 25? I think that in a tight end premium, yes. Taking Loveland at 25 overall and a non-premium, Overcome? I hope to God that's a premium. I don't see anything about tight end premium. But some of you guys get so excited about a player, you're not thinking about the cost of entry. In a vacuum, would you rather have Stribling or Cyrus in Dynasty? Probably Cyrus right now, bro. I love both of them, but that could go back and forth. Wasn't able to grab Coleman. Guy took him. He watches your show. Yeah, but how long did you wait, Mark? Because I hear that, but there's really no excuse because he goes in like the 140s or 50s. And if you're trying to push it to the ADP, you weren't paying attention on, you need to reach like an entire round for a guy like that. You can't just try and time the ADP, and it's like pushing your luck. Like if he drafted him like a whole round and a half before his ADP, where he would have easily been at your pick or maybe the next pick. I get it. You know, it is what it is, but he's a monster. Maybe he did reach, but you got to grab him. But yeah, I'd rather have Cyrus by a hair right now, but Stribling's a monster, bro. They're both absolute savages. Thank you guys for the super chats. Stribling to the moon too. Yeah, for sure. I like them both. I think I'd probably go Cyrus. Cyrus plays on a roster that is in desperate need of what he provides. This is a downfield threat that Worthy hasn't been able to necessarily satisfy that need for the team. He does everything that Rice does and more. which is what makes him a better player. And he's elusive. He's electric. Rice is really good at what he does, and Mahomes could turn Rice into a PPR merchant. But Cyrus Allen can be everything Puka Nacua is. And that's nothing against Rice. Rice is what he is. He lives in this environment that makes him a top 5 to 10 wide receiver talent. And no one's saying that Rice can't still be number 8 or 10 or whatever this year, or, even 5 or 7. But we also have not seen Rice fully put it together. So Cyrus Allen is on his way. He's already looking like one of Mahomes' favorite targets. This guy's going to go out there. He's lights out. Everybody's excited about him. He's riling up the fan base. The fans love him. He's going to sell tickets. He's so easy to market. This is going to fall right in place. And Cyrus, sometimes you see it happening, and a lot of people say, well, I don't, I got to see it before I could say, like somebody here when I said Cyrus Allen is better than Rashee Rice, they're like, hey, that's a bold take. Of course it's a bold take. So is calling Achan. So is calling many things that this channel is called. Like, you got to be bold. You got to be predictive. You can't wait for it to happen and then step in and go, oh, okay. Yeah, this is a monster in the making, Cyrus the Virus. He is going to take the NFL by storm. And while there's a chance that we're off, because not everybody develops the way that they look to be in the preseason. The best example, case in point, although his story's not done, he's rising this year, is Hendy. How good did Hendy look in the offseason last year? How good did he look in the preseason? I venture to say Hendy might be the most attractive looking rookie coming out of the preseason at the running back position we had seen in a decade. It looked like Hendy was going to be handed 55 carries a game. He was scoring touchdown after touchdown. That's why we developed the House Call Hendy song and everything, because this man would grab the ball and just knife his way into the end zone in the preseason over and over and over and over. And we thought, this is the way it's going to happen, right? There's a chance that a more slower unveiling happens, or there's a hiccup, or he gets injured like he got banged up the other day, and he's fine now. But Cyrus Allen, you can't be scared of what hasn't developed before. You can't live in fear that Genty was overdrafted, in your opinion, last year, and therefore you're not going to draft Jeremiah Love. Or Marvin Harrison Jr. was a total bust, so I'm not going to believe in any other player ever again, and drafting Jeremiah Love's a risk. That's living scared. That's a scared Scotty. You can do that if you want. That's not how this channel operates. You can operate however you want. But Cyrus Allen is going to the mother freaking moon. The question is, do you want to be on the train? Do you want to be on the train? Husseini with the $20 super chat. He says, part 1. I love Cyrus Allen. I'm not pushing back. I just don't agree that he'll be the wide receiver 1 this season. The playbook revolves around K9 and Rice, and it stay that way this year. But Cyrus can definitely be number 2 easy. I get it, but you're not even open-minded to it, which feels like, Husseini, that it's an over-investment in Rice to just try and you know what I mean? Like they're both on the team. So from a KC perspective, take fantasy out of it. There is a world where this can happen. I'm not saying that if Rice stays completely healthy, gets all of his speed back, looks phenomenal, that it'll just be an exchange and one goes and, Cyrus Allen rises to the top immediately, doesn't have ups and downs. He's a rookie. I'm just saying he's the number 1 wide receiver on the roster moving forward. I didn't once say he will outscore Rice for sure this year. That isn't anything that I just said at all. I'm saying this is the number 1 wide receiver of the future for the team. And I do believe that because he's cheap, because he's as good as advertised and way better, because he has the potential clearly. Husseini, you got to admit, he has the potential to be better than Rice. Even if you won't want to say he isn't, he has the potential to be better, right? Which means the Chiefs, who can penny pinch when it comes to this kind of stuff, they're going to look at Rice. If he's not top 5, they're going to look at him and say, walk. We've got this kid locked up on a rookie deal. We're not spending the money on you. We're not. Not with all the problems you brought to the table. Even if he has a good season, they have zero interest in paying him $40 million. I'm not saying he'll necessarily earn 40, but maybe 33, 35 if he's got the kind of season that makes him want to keep him. Now, he could be franchise tagged, but that franchise tag number is going to be in the 30, 31 area. So they may not want to franchise tag him. They may tag him still, but you can't sit here and say it's not possible that this guy isn't better long-term than Rice, and the team's going to look at it that way when they're crunching the numbers. And so Rice has got to have a top 5 wide receiver season, or there's a really strong chance they're letting him walk, or they'll tag him, which will piss him off. He won't get all the money he wants, or they'll tag and trade him because he's going to be a nice hot commodity if he plays well. But if he's not top 5, they're going to let him walk, and that will be good for him in a way if he landed in the right spot. But then again, I mean, from a dynasty perspective, he's not somebody that just can survive anywhere. Rice is not even close to being a top 5 wide receiver from a talent perspective. He's not quick enough for that, but he lives in a world that is so lucrative for him that he can be a top 5 wide receiver in the situation that he's in right now in KC. But Rice is nowhere near as talented as JSN, nowhere near as talented as St. Brown, nowhere near as talented as Neighbors or any of those guys that can consume top 1 to 7 wide receiver value. But you can't separate situation from player yet. And so Rice can live in a world where he's 5, 7, 6, 8, all of those numbers. But if he doesn't produce top 5 to 7 wide receiver numbers, I could even say top 10 might make them tag him and then not pay him but hold him and do what Jerry just did with Pickens, make him play on the tag. Why not? Why would you commit? Let's just be real. Why would you commit $35 million per year and probably 70 to 80 to 90 million guaranteed to a guy in Rashee Rice that can't stay out of trouble? And even if he does it for 1 year, that's not enough evidence to pay him when you have the virus on your team. You have the virus on your team. There's no need to pay this man a top 5 wide receiver number when the virus is sitting right in front of you. This is a man that you're going to be able to franchise tag and hold, franchise tag and trade, but he has to deliver to even be tag worthy. Plain and simple. So all I'm saying is that Cyrus Allen is a more talented wide receiver than Allen, and Cyrus is a more talented wide receiver than Rice, and Cyrus Allen is probably the player of the future, is all I'm telling you. But the good news, Husseini, is like these guys are both on your team. If what I'm saying is correct, you've got a potential top 5 wide receiver right here. Part 2, also think Cyrus helps Rice, takes the attention away from him. Rice can still do his thing, especially. I agree with that. And that's why I said, you're taking me, whenever I say this though, Husseini, you push back right away. Whenever I say Cyrus is the future of this team, and he is, that's the way I feel. I don't think there's even a debate with it, to be honest with you. He's the future wide receiver of this team. That doesn't mean that the pile of cash that is Rashee Rice, that was already determined to be worth this, goes down just because they found a bigger pile. That's all I'm saying. And I feel like you're, or anybody else that has a lot of Rashee Rice shares or is taking it differently, is thinking I'm tearing down Rice. Rice can be just as good as he was ever supposed to be in this situation. And yes, there is a world where he is a top 10 wide receiver. But I do believe that this man does step on that quite a bit in terms of being that 4 or 3 or 5 that we potentially thought that Rice could be. Now, this could help him stay healthy. It could help him stay in the top 10 instead of playing like a top 5 or 6 guy for a 6-game stretch, getting hurt or whatever. Maybe it keeps him focused and drive, sparks something under him. And he says, I got to keep my head straight and work hard, get back into shape because this guy's about to take my job. But I will tell you this. I'm not trading this man for a first rounder. I don't care what you offer me. You'd have to give me something that was a definitive top 3 pick in the 2027 draft. You can bring to me a mid to maybe even early first round pick for Cyrus Allen. I wouldn't trade him to you for that pick. And I proved that when Travis called on the phone line and offered me Gainwell and a future first rounder for Cyrus Allen. And it was a very fair offer, by the way. And I said no. And people in the chat were like, you got to take that. Why? Because it's a first rounder. It was a 28 or 29. I forget what it was. Might have been 28 first rounder. I don't care about a 28 first rounder. Unknown, especially with Travis's team. It's good. I don't want a mid to late first rounder for Cyrus the Virus. I'm banking on it, baby. I'm all in. I don't care about a late or middle or late 2028, 2029. I won't trade him for that. And if I've got to give up something like that, I'll give up a 29 first rounder for Allen all day long in a dynasty league. And I advise you to as well, if you are willing to take the risk, which there's certainly risk to do. As far as Rice, I don't really know. Husseini, thank you. By the way, Husseini with two $20 super chats.
Alert. Super chat alert.
And phone lines are open, Husseini, if you would like to call in and talk about this. I'd be more than happy to discuss it with you. Husseini to the mother freaking moon. Two $20 super chats to discuss the man known as Cyrus the Virus. You got to love the dedication this man has to the Kansas City Chiefs. And as we said last night, if you think of Kansas City on this channel, you think of Husseini. And for that is how much of an impact he makes on the community that everybody knows.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
All right, let me go ahead and love the interaction from everyone. Mahomes is about to ball again, top 3 to 7 for sure. Best show in the universe. Could Grimlock please get a bold prediction? Sure, Grimlock, drop a bold prediction. Appreciate you. And then 10 gifted memberships from Gio. Gio, thank you for dropping 10 gifted memberships, young man. Gio to the mother freaking
I smell meatloaf.
Thank you. And Husseini, I believe this is another one. So that's a $50 hauler actually from Luis. Thank you for that $50 hauler. And then Husseini with this $10 super chat to continue the conversation. Again, Husseini, dial in if you want. Cyrus is the better route runner and man-to-man wide receiver, a true wide receiver. Rice is the yak god. He's the yak god, but with Mahomes. If he goes elsewhere, it's going to be hard to predict what he turns into. He's a yak god because of how they scheme him and because of Mahomes. I'm not saying that he can't find the perfect spot to replicate that, but I do believe that Rice in a different situation that doesn't mirror this one, we'd watch him wither away. That's the problem why he's not a top 5, top 6, top 7 talent. He's not JSN. He's not St. Brown. He's nowhere near those guys. But in situations key, Arian Foster didn't hold a candle to LaDainian Tomlinson. Didn't even hold a candle, but he was just as good in fantasy. Arian Foster didn't hold a candle to Barry, to Marshall Faulk, to Sean Alexander, but Arian Foster was just as good in fantasy football. And that's the nature of situation meets player, and you can't separate situation from player. So love the enthusiasm for Rice, and I still love Rice, and I'm still drafting Rice at the 2-3 turn pretty handsomely. I don't know that it's my favorite thing right now, opposed to like Neighbors or McBride or Pickens. I'm taking those guys all day long. Jeremiah Love, McBride. But right after that, I'm still taking Rice. But there's concern that, as anybody's had all offseason, that what if he got in trouble again? What if he isn't exactly at full speed yet, but he has time. I'm still not really worried about that. Not to mention, Mahomes is the reason he is who he is, and that's still in play. Cyrus is the better route runner. Just block for him, and he gives you Pickens type production. I'll disagree with the Pickens comparison. Pickens is like top 3 in the league. But I will say on so many levels that I wouldn't want to blur those lines at all. But I do think Rice needs to prove it. And since I always tell you, I close my eyes and I envision Rice's future and I don't see anything. I don't know what that means, but it doesn't feel to me like it's something that I'm putting all my dynasty leagues on the line for, if you know what I mean. Because the gut instinct is powerful. And my gut instinct's telling me I don't know what I see when I close my eyes. That could mean that he's amazing where he is. This year, Rice explodes. But if they let him walk, he withers away and vanishes into the ether. That's the kind of player Rice can be, especially with his mentality and not proving he's mature. If he gets let go and goes somewhere else, what does he turn into? Rebuilder traded a late 28 first for Tyson. I don't hate that, but that's certainly a good move in Dynasty. I don't mind that at all. I definitely would also probably partake in later picks for Tyson. I don't know about early 27s or anything, but definitely. Thank you, Husseini, for the super chats. Hammer, you're live on the phone line. What can I do for you, pal? And thank you for the extender.
I'll skip, I guess, the Coleman thing. If I'm the Chiefs, like, why have they put up with it and kept Rice this long?
I mean, they have to.
I mean, they don't have to do anything.
Right, but they're not going to. It's a very cheap wide receiver with tons of upside.
But
so
I just, again, whoever said he's a better route runner. Like when Rashee Rice is not on the field, Kansas City cannot put an offensive game plan together. They can't. And I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's painful to watch him play. So, like, this guy in one preseason game is now like better.
Well, that's the fun about fantasy football is the predicting things before they happen part of it. So, a lot of people can't.
Like,
yeah, but I mean, where do you draw the line as to where something is you're just being predictive or you're just being reckless? Like that's the whole fun of the nature of fantasy football. Sometimes you just need a glimmer of the eye test to know that a player, like you could say the exact same thing about Jonah Coleman. Cyrus Allen looks amazing. Coleman looks amazing. Taking a leap of faith when JK's in there. Like, I agree with you on all counts on Jonah Coleman, but there's really no difference in believing in Jonah Coleman being the future of the team when Harvey just scored 12 touchdowns last year, and your assessment of the talent differences and your assessment of what Coleman will be and your projection as to what Coleman will be.
I think it's very different. I mean,
Ow.
Sean Payton drafted him. Literally, only gave him 8 carries, showed what he did on just 8 carries, and says, to get him out of the game.
Yeah, but we've been saying this before that even happened. So, like, if you dial it back a few weeks, the same thing we've been saying about Coleman's all projection. It's all predictive. There's no facts. There's nothing to go on. This is new information. Hammers home the point. Like, Cyrus has been looking just as good as Coleman's been looking with the Peyton comment. Maybe it's differently weighed, or you could look at it as a different amount of evidence, a different kind of evidence. But Cyrus Allen's been getting the support of Andy Reid in the similar fashion of what Sean Payton said, just differently. And not to mention the entire team, all the beat writers. If anything, Cyrus Allen's hype is way bigger than Jonah Coleman's hype. It's a great comment that we understand as being a comment that leads to this. We know Coleman's going to do it. We've been saying Coleman's going to do it. But Cyrus Allen's probably got more hype and support and buzz directionally from the team than Jonah Coleman does. Like, this is an inevitable. He is the number 2 wide receiver for this team. And an inevitable, he could very well take over the entire wide receiver room by the end of the year. And to say that, like, one thing can be said on Coleman but not on Cyrus is like I don't understand that.
I'm saying it's very different.
I don't think it is.
Completely different situation. The guy only had 8 carries and showed what he did on 8 carries and says, I have to get this guy out of the game.
I understand that. But you also have Andy Reid talking Cyrus Allen up constantly. You have this entire coaching staff, this entire beat writer room, everybody talking up Cyrus Allen. There are different things being said, but they're, in my opinion, no different at all. They're very, very similar. And to just not agree with the player projection and say, well, how could he just come in and be this? It's the same thing. Like, it's the exact same thing. Different things are being said, but Coleman has proven nothing more than, if anything, Cyrus has proven way more than Coleman. And that's not a knock. I love Coleman. Coleman's going to the moon. He's my most drafted player. But Coleman hasn't proved what Cyrus is continuously rinse and repeated in practice, grabbing one-handed catches everywhere, left and right. Cyrus has done more in camp and in the preseason than any player for their team other than Stribling in terms of proving themselves and rising up and getting a foothold in a situation where they didn't really have the best odds to get that big of a foothold. Cyrus Allen is proven more than probably anybody in the preseason. He looks phenomenal, and he's outplaying everyone. And if you watch the fluidity of the guy, you just see it. And sometimes, I mean, bro, from doing this, I don't land everything. That's for certain. But sometimes that eye test and the vibe is more important than any data point or anything even a coach can say. And I'm seeing it in both Coleman and Stribling, Coleman and Cyrus Allen. So I see it in both of them. And I agree every single bit of everything you're saying on Coleman. Obviously, I agree with you on that. But I just don't see how one can be believed in by you and the other one is like, it's not the same kind of concept, at least, even if you don't see it. But it's like, yeah, I can see it. If I like Coleman like that, I can see like Cyrus Allen like that. It's just different.
Yeah, it's just more Sean Payton's history of who he drafts, and I don't think he drafted who he did and the player he did, and again in the preseason he literally
drafted Harvey too, though.
Yeah, he drafted Harvey too, and he said very, very strong things about Harvey. So it's hard to. And again, I think all three of us on the phone line here believe the same thing about Coleman. Let's make that very clear. But I don't think.
Are you taking Cyrus Allen over Jeremiah Smith?
Come on.
If he's on Kansas City,
what a question is that?
No.
Well, I don't.
Jeremiah
Smith.
Is,
it sounds like you're taking him over Rice this year on Kansas City, which I
Hammer. I was abundantly clear. I said even when Husseini super chatted, I said, where did I say that Rice was getting outscored by Cyrus Allen? I even said that on the live stream, and I said it like twice. I made it abundantly clear on this live stream.
I thought you said he was the wide receiver one.
He is. He's the team's future wide receiver one. That's what I've said on the live stream. The whole 45 minutes of the show, it's been Cyrus Allen's the future wide receiver. And I've said 2 or 3 times that he is not necessarily outscoring him as a rookie. He could have ups and downs. Rice is still going to have the potential to be a top 5 to 10 wide receiver. But if he doesn't perform at the top 5 to 7 to 8 value level, then he's probably out of there. Whether they tag him and trade him if the value is still there, whether he finishes the year and keeps his head on straight, whatever the case may be, that he has to deliver that 5 to 7, 5 to 8, top 10, however you want to define it. The definition can be flexible. He has to have that crazy impressive year in order for this team to say, yeah, let's pay him. That's the way the Chiefs operate. They very much try and spend as least amount of money as possible and move in different ways. And they've been without Tyreek Hill for how long now? They still just operate like this. They drafted a monster, and he is going to easily, in my opinion, overtake Rice over time because I see it visually. I don't even need to hear what Andy Reid's saying on it, although Andy Reid's saying amazing things. I don't need to hear what the beat writers are saying, although the beat writers are saying amazing things. I visually see the quick twitch and capabilities, the jump ball, the 50-50 go up and get the football capabilities with even his size and his route running. He runs amazingly crispy routes. He is so quick and elusive. It's like night and day. Rice is a PPR merchant, and he will be because that's what Mahomes makes him. Rice's value is the extension of the run, and Mahomes does it perfectly. And he'll probably dial it up as long as he's healthy, has his head on straight, gets his speed back. All things I think are totally doable. I'm not down on Rice at all. I just told everyone and you that I'd take him at the 2-3 turn still, like clockwork, just after some other guys like Neighbors and Pickens, which I think everyone on the line agrees with. McBride, maybe you like that, maybe you don't. I know you're not the best or the best person to ask in terms of drafting an early tight end because you like to draft one later, which is totally understandable. But other than that, you're talking about a guy I still draft at the 33, 34, 32, or not, no, sorry, 25, 26, 27, 28, depending on how the draft is falling. But to suggest that you can't look at a player and project them to be this great next elite Puka Nacua, I mean, what would have been said if you called in and I said Puka Nacua is going to be the next guy? And it's like, you haven't seen it. How can you say it? Like, you can say it because you can say it. You can be wrong on it. That's for sure. Stribling, Allen, will one of them potentially not become the player we think? Probably one of them won't be as good as we think. Both of them could be, but the odds are probably against them both being elite top 10 wide receivers. But one of them feels like the next Puka Nacua, the next Kyron Williams, the guy out of nowhere, double-digit rounds. Jonah Coleman as well. That's why I've got this list here. Stribling, Cyrus Allen, Jonah Coleman, Keaton Mitchell. These are all potential double-digit round Kyron Williams or Puka Nacua emerging stars that you want before the rise happens. And when I watch Coleman and Cyrus Allen and Mitchell, to be honest, Stribling too, that's why they're all 4 here. I see potential that is not in other players that are actually ranked a lot higher, like Rice, for example. Yeah. What do you got? What do you think on it, Travis?
So I think the difference with Allen, like someone even put in the chat, like, Allen and Worthy have similar builds, meaning they're small or whatever. The difference with Cyrus Allen is he's a potential elite route runner. He's a very good route runner. And if you think back, that's something that Mahomes hasn't really had at a high level. Tyreek he was a freak. I mean, you were not able to cover him no matter what. Kelsey is great at finding those soft spots on the defense, open holes. And to a point, Rice kind of filled that hole a little. He's great at the slant and yak, like Husseini said, but he's not like that elite, crisp route runner.
No.
And to give Mahomes a guy like that would make a huge difference. And I bet you anything, a guy like Mahomes, especially as he's getting older and more experienced, Tyreek was great for him because they could run around and make things happen. But, he's got to play even more in structure now after the knee. And route runners are a quarterback's best friend. And then in terms of Rice, yeah, go ahead.
Real quickly, I said, let's make no mistake about it. They can coexist. That's what I said at the beginning of the show.
For sure.
Like that someone's going to, like Husseini, or in this case, Hammer, maybe the way that maybe I worded it wrong. I don't know. Going to take it like one has to be declining if the other is rising. And again, there's so many situations that have to go right for Rice to get re-signed with the Chiefs, who refused to give him his extension this offseason. So they clearly question it. He's got to play well. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to play well enough. And then he's also got to stay, his mind right and stay, in his, he's got to stay clean. He's got to stay focused. He's got to make sure he proves to them. Those are a lot of moving parts to then command what he's going to want. And so if he wants to get paid a certain level and the Chiefs are like, look, I understand, but 1 year doesn't really do it for us to make us want to give you 90 or 100 million plus guaranteed, which is what a well-playing Rice would command. You can't blame KC. And I think this is 100% going to happen if it ends up being, that's why it's such a, as you said the other day, like threading the needle. If he plays so well, the Chiefs are going to say, we got Cyrus Allen. We're not paying somebody $90 million that could screw us at any moment. Like they could write in the contract and try and protect themselves, of course, but this is a nightmare for them if they believe this could backfire. And 1 year won't have earned that. Now, if he plays good enough to retain, and they could tag him or they could just offer him a deal. Hard to say how it will go down, but if they offer him a deal and he doesn't have the market because he didn't play quite as well and people are scared of his off-the-field situation, he could be retained that way. He could also potentially be just tagged and like Pickens play on the tag. He could be tagged and traded, but all that will depend on how he plays, and it's just going to be a very, very tough way to see it perfectly land when we're already just kind of saying, hey, 1 year at a time, I'm willing to risk it on Rice, but he's got to keep his head straight. He's got to do all that together. And it's just like, if Cyrus Allen takes advantage of his opportunity, the Chiefs will be more inclined, like any team would be, to say, we got our guy. And as much as I love Rice, he is more of a product of the system, which you can't separate the situation from player till they leave it. He's more of a product of his system than he is an elite talent that would thrive the same way anywhere he went. So,
and when you look at the Pickens situation is a really good parallel, because when you look at it, okay, Pickens, and the Cowboys can be stubborn with contracts, so can Kansas City, and he goes out and has 1,400 yards and I don't know what was it, 8 or 9 touchdowns or whatever it was, and there weren't teams banging down the door to trade for him. And there was whispers about, a lot of teams still want to see him prove it one more year and this and that. So Pickens' issues are way less than Rice. Pickens is more proven than Rice to a point now because he did it for a full season. And
of course.
And he played full seasons in Pittsburgh, where Rice hasn't played a full season. His rookie year, he played a full season but didn't produce for a full season. They didn't start using him until 9 games in. And so, even if he goes off, he would have to have a Pickens-type season or maybe even 1,208, whatever it would be, then I think they could definitely tag him, like you said. But still, why would they even give a huge contract at that point if the tag is still there?
Yeah.
We can argue about the tag all we want, but from a business standpoint, why?
And
If Allen has risen up.
And I think, you probably, Hammer, would you agree that there is a chance that he just gets tagged and plays on the tag, which, certainly could piss him off, but he still, like Pickens, could just play on it. But wouldn't you agree that the Chiefs are going to say, even if you go through a whole year of proving you're, solid and not like getting into trouble, like we're still not giving you $100 million guaranteed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a world that he could get it, as scary as it sounds, before Puka, just because I don't know what I could see McVay. I think he might be on the way out. I think Stafford has this last year, and I mean, I don't know what Puka's value is without Stafford, and again, his own issues.
Well, so, Puka aside,
proven it though.
But regardless, Puka aside, let's just talk Rice. Like it's a tough sell for me, for somebody to tell me that the Chiefs are going to entertain giving Rice $100+ million guaranteed. It's a tough sell.
I mean, again, they haven't had to do anything. They've retained him this entire time,
right?
And he's gotten in so much trouble. So
yeah,
it says something.
Basically.
But in the off season, this will come to a head. So that's what I'm saying. Like Rice, there's a certain amount of interest that this team has in getting Allen prepared and seeing what they've got there, so they don't have to go down the road of paying $100 million guaranteed to a receiver they don't trust. So Allen will certainly be vetted as the year goes on. And I'm not saying that he, like I said from the start, and like I said in response to Husseini's message, I am not saying Allen outscores Rice this year. I'm not saying he doesn't, though. I'll tell you that too, though. But I'm just saying that this is a player that is the future wide receiver one. And I don't really care. Like, I care what everybody thinks, of course, but I don't care what other opinions are. That's how my eyeballs and my brain connect these dots. And I see it. Like, and sometimes I just need to see a glimpse of it. Sometimes I need to see 2 weeks of it. Sometimes I don't see it until the player's in week one. But right now, when I watch the kid move, he's different. He's different, and he's different than anything they've ever had since Tyreek Hill. We know that Patrick Mahomes loves this type of wide receiver. We know that he turns him into a superstar, and that everything this kid is will become amplified by Patrick Mahomes, which is a beautiful thing, just like it was with Wright.
Dribbling might be better than Cyrus, based on, again, like Mike Evans getting hurt this afternoon,
sure,
already kind of issues there, and they haven't a receiver in forever.
I mean, could be. That's why I got him on the list. I mean, for sure, love him. I just like Cyrus more, but man, Stribling's on this list for a reason. I mean, these four monsters are here for a reason. I love all of them. But yeah, Stribling, you're right. There's a lot of turmoil in that wide receiver room already. Pearsall, I don't believe in him anyway. And Evans doesn't have more than the one elite year until he starts playing partial seasons and all that anyway. Debo, I mean, they're going to run Debo into the ground, giving him 50% running back workload already in the practices. So it's like, who's there? It's like Stribling is the number one wide receiver in that offense. But it doesn't mean I don't believe that Cyrus Allen. I believe Cyrus Allen is just as locked in my opinion. And it's a projective thing we're playing here. But in my opinion, Cyrus Allen and Stribling are both the number one wide receivers for their team, and I don't even hesitate on it. Future wide receivers of the team. Just because, like I said, there's too many things for Rice for it to go the way it needs to go for Rice to be back with the team, signing the extension, getting the $100 million guaranteed. Them not saying, you know what, we're fine, moving on. We've got Worthy, we've got Rice. We can build this team in a way and use money elsewhere, and we're fine at wide receiver. And that's just kind of the way that I think that it will go. Let me read these two super chats real quick, and then Hammer, I'll get your take on Keaton Mitchell, because I kind of feel like I know what you think of Mitchell, but I don't fully know. This $100 hauler here from Luis, appreciate that. And then BBQ dropping the $50 wad as well. Chiefs typically don't let first-year receivers on the field. Worthy, a gadget guy. Allen is different cat. Watch him. He finds spots, and the defense high points the ball. Stribling showing out like he did in college. Some guys just have it. And that, BBQ exact. That's why these guys are on the list. That's why we're doing a whole dedicated live stream to these guys that have the it factor. Visually, the situations are beautiful. And Stribling and Cyrus are the futures of their teams. I truly believe that in my gut, and I don't even hesitate on it. And Travis offered me a first-rounder and Kenny Gainwell. And what else did you offer me? A second and some.
I
said no.
The verbal offer was Kenny Gainwell, 28 first, couple seconds and thirds, Chris Brazzell and Fab. So
said no.
But I get why you said no, because you can't necessarily use all those pieces.
I also dropped $500 Fab dollars out of 500. No, wait, no, did I drop 250? What did I drop?
No, I think
500.
It was 5. I think you
dropped 5 out of. I used all 500 of my Fab dollars, and Travis dropped like 2. Would you drop like 2?
I dropped 3.
3. Okay, so I dropped all 500. Yeah, all 500. Coker was a nice ad, by the way. I didn't even know Coker was there.
I'm fine with that.
I had blinders on. Thank you, BBQ, for dropping the $50 super chat. And then Luis says, for Aldi, could he please get his Stribling video? I'll work on it, Luis. I'll try and Stribling should have a video, so just remind me to put him on there. Thank you, appreciate you, Luis. $100 super chat, BBQ. And then any other 20s I'll get to in 1 second. And all these other super chats that are sitting here waiting. I got Ron Navy on the phone. Ron Navy, it's nice hearing you call in into the phone line more now that the football season is coming. I hope this is a regular thing.
What's going on?
What's up, Ron? You're on the line with Hammer and Travis.
Yeah, I know. I was listening to you guys.
Okay.
I don't like Rice. I've never been a Rice fan because of all the trouble, and he's never translated over to regular season play to be beneficial to anybody up to this point. And I just think he's one of those type of players that you're always you recognize the talent, but you're always going to be disappointed because he always can't keep his head above water. He's always going to disappoint. That's just the type of player I see in him. Now, as far as Cyrus goes, he might have a lot of potential, but then again, we haven't got the greatest play out of Mahomes for the last 2 years. That's a fact. Mahomes has not been Mahomes for 2 years.
He's pretty good last year.
So what type of Mahomes do we get this year? That's going to depend.
He was number one.
Not been Mahomes the past 2 years.
He hasn't been a top 3 QB.
No, why? Why has he not been?
Without the receiver. I mean, that's kind of the point.
Well, you got Kelsey declining, which he was always his go-to guy, and
but he hasn't had receivers though. Rice
he hasn't had talent. He's had receivers.
No, he hasn't. Rice keeps getting hurt, or there's a problem. Mahomes got hurt. Like, Rice hasn't done it. Like, that's the whole point. Rice has never been able to really put it all together. And then on top of that, like, Travis keeps mumbling in the background for you, like, Nagy, on purpose. Nagy dragged the whole offense down, which he's going to do in New York, by the way. So Nagy was a total drag on the offense. They've got what's his face back in the saddle. What's his name?
Bieniemy.
Bieniemy back in the saddle.
You didn't like Bieniemy. None of us like Bieniemy. Bieniemy, we said,
like, not the play caller.
We said Bieniemy does nothing.
No, he's really good.
And when Bieniemy went to Washington, we knew he wouldn't be anything there either.
Bieniemy's good at what he does in KC, like getting the guys together, riling them up, getting them disciplined, run game, fundamentals. Bieniemy will never be a head coach, should never be a head coach. He was a joke of a head coach candidate, and his interviews were awful. He just couldn't ever land an interview well. but he is good at the fundamentals. Like, I think he'll be really good for the run game. He'll make Kenneth Walker a superstar this year. But I do think he never calls plays. He's not that kind of guy, so it doesn't. Honestly, they haven't been good since Bieniemy, and Nagy really dragged down the entire offense. And like Hammer just said, why have they not been good? Ron, what is the correlation? It's they haven't had the receivers. They haven't had the receivers. Mahomes was the top 1 or 2 quarterback all year last year until he went down. He was like QB, what, 1, 2, 3?
Not really.
Yeah,
they were
yes.
No, they weren't the same team.
He was on pace for almost 50 touchdowns, like 45 touchdowns.
Yeah, Ron, Mahomes was the top 2, 3.
How do you get 45 touchdowns if you have no receivers?
I don't know. Look at,
how's that happen? I mean, you're all saying he has no wide receivers. How's he going to get 50 touchdowns without any wide receivers?
I'm sorry. Let's let Hammer.
That's the excuse that we're using for his bad play the last 2 years.
All right, hold on.
I think with Kenneth Walker there now, I think that it's going to help Mahomes actually be better because Walker, I think, can pick up where Kelsey's dropped off.
All right, Hammer, what was your...
From the offensive line standpoint, I don't think it has anything to do with Kelsey, but...
Ron, I'll say this, Ron. You judging Mahomes with no wide receivers for 2 years, and he didn't have receivers. Worthy got injured. Rice got injured. Mahomes got, like, it kept happening. Like, he didn't have 2 years in a row. The guy didn't have a full plate at all. It was him by himself, him against the world. That's why he got hurt. You've got Rashee Rice finally healthy and ready to go. You got Cyrus Allen, who looks phenomenal. Who cares if Kelsey's dropping off? He'll still be kind of relevant in the red zone and such. And you got Kenneth Walker. Like, this is going to be a glorious year for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to be so hard to stop. But I don't know why you're down on Mahomes when Mahomes is literally...
because Mahomes is an elite talent. He's shown he's an elite talent. So sometimes when you don't have wide receivers, then you, as an elite talent quarterback, you make wide receivers. How many times have we seen quarterbacks make wide receivers that weren't there? All the time. The great ones can do that.
But Ron,
Mahomes needs to step up and start doing that.
Ron, he's been losing them, so there haven't been any available. Like, let me just show you something real quickly. Mahomes in 2018, QB1. 2019, QB8. 2020, QB3. 2021, QB4. 2022, QB1. And then he had these 2 bad years where it's been receivers, nothing to lean on. And you had the whole fantasy industry saying he's just no longer a top 5 quarterback anymore. And I said, this is a 2-year gap. This guy was a monster his entire career. And what did he do in 2025? As I predicted, he was one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the league. He got injured, and so he fell out of it. But, Ron, he returned without wide receivers because Rice wasn't there. He was there and not there. But he returned with...
Rice has never been there.
Okay.
Let's be honest. Rice has never been there.
That's why I'm saying...
He's been there for a few games here and there and looked great, but Rice has never been there.
That's why I'm saying
Cyrus the virus. Rice, he never had Rice because Rice is like... He's nothing to that team. But he doesn't play.
That's not true.
He's turned it around. We've talked about it on the show. We've talked about it on the show. He's turned it around. So you just admit it again.
Rice has turned it around.
Been watching, but yeah.
Hey, Ron, even if he doesn't turn it around.
How has Rice turned it around?
Ron, even if he hasn't turned it around.
Has he played a full season yet? Has he played a full season and proven that he's turned it around? Or is it just words coming out and saying, I've turned it around?
Ron, let's say you're right.
No, it's actually just conversation like we've had. We've kind of gone through it. I mean,
exactly. He hasn't turned nothing around yet.
But Ron, even if you're right,
he has to prove himself.
Isn't that why I'm talking
Pickens, when he went from Pittsburgh and being pissed off and everybody pissed off at him because he had a crappy coach in Tomlin and couldn't coach him, right? Yep. So there he goes to Dallas, and everybody's thinking he's going to go off, act the same that he did in Pittsburgh, and he thrives in Dallas.
Okay, hold on.
Ron. He has proven himself.
All right, hold on a second. Let's rotate around. First of all, before I go to Hammer, then to Travis, then to Ron. Ron, just let everybody talk.
Okay,
that's the whole and we love having you here. This is good. That's the whole reason why I'm doing this show today, Ron. Is like you keep going to Rice, but Cyrus Allen is the answer. Cyrus Allen is the rising star. Mahomes loves Cyrus Allen. Cyrus Allen loves Mahomes. And if you're right, and I think Rice can coexist with him, by the way, but if you're right, this guy's going to take that bigger leap than anybody expects, because if Rice doesn't step up, this guy's stepping up double time. And you're saying that Mahomes needs to step up and turn a receiver into a star. I think he gets a pretty long leash for us when he did what he did with Tyreek Hill. And I don't really understand how we can just write Mahomes off after 2 bad years when last year wasn't a bad year. Like I just showed you here, you have only 2 bad years of Mahomes. And everybody acts like it's a decade long of Mahomes' decline. He had a QB 7, which isn't that bad. QB 10, which isn't that bad. He's never not been a top 10 QB. He was 7 and 10, and the last year he was 1, 2, or 3, depending on your scoring, and then he went down. So I'm just saying, like, I don't understand this. Mahomes isn't stepped up, or he needs to do something, or whatever. He has done so much with so little. And once he gets Cyrus Allen going, if Rice doesn't work out, Cyrus is going to the moon. And if Rice works out, Cyrus can still go to the moon, maybe sporadically, and he shows us what's to come. And then Rice goes crazy. Like, either way, they've doubled up like NASA. They've got Worthy healthy, who might not stay healthy. They've got Cyrus Allen, and they've got Rashee Rice. You could argue this is one of the better receiving rooms in the league.
And can I just say this quick, and then I'll take the back seat and let people go?
Yeah, let's let Hammer reply, because I don't think he's really replied yet. And then back over to Ron. So Travis, Hammer, let Hammer get his point out, and then over to Ron, who I really appreciate being here, Ron. Hope you know that.
And just real quick.
Travis, go ahead.
All right, thanks, Hammer. Real quick, I put it in the chat just so people could see it. So Rice didn't come back to week 7, okay? So regardless of what Rice was doing, in the first 12 weeks, he got, I think, injured in week 13 or 14, but weeks 1 to 12, Mahomes, with basically nothing around him, was on pace for 45, 87 for yards, 31 passing touchdowns, 493 rushing yards, and 6 rushing touchdowns. So that's over 5,000 yards of production and 37 touchdown pace. And that was 7 games without Rashee Rice, or 6 games without. So, like, Mahomes was doing a lot of it on his own last year, and he was still a top 3 or 4 quarterback until he got hurt.
All right, Hammer, and then Ron.
Yeah, I mean, Pickens, again, that's just a no-brainer. You just leave an incompetent offense and team, and you put that talent somewhere else, and he explodes. So, like, I don't know where the Pickens thing came from. I'm not sure how that was really relatable. But, again, like, the guy's won how many Super Bowls, and I just can't, like, for 2 years being replaced, just say this guy's done nothing. That's just wild to me. Like, right. I don't know.
Okay, Ron Navy, rebuttal?
Okay, for one, I never said Mahomes was nothing. I said he hasn't been his normal self for the last 2 years like he was prior to. That's all I said. I said if Allen is going to do good this year, Mahomes is going to have to step up and play like he used to. That's all I said. I never said Mahomes was crap.
But Ron, he's
not
last year. He was amazing last year. Like, he stepped up last year. Like, I just think like a 2-year absence, like Hammer just said, is kind of wild to suggest he's been out of pocket. Where has he been? He's missing. Put him on a milk carton. He had 2 years where he lost his wide receiver Rice in one of them, ran into him, took him out. There's injuries left and right. Worthy gets injured. Rice is suspended. Rice's knee. It's just nonstop. It's just nonstop with this team. And they finally have the ability to say, we, no matter even if we lost one of them, have a wide receiver room, because they haven't had it. Even when Worthy went down, Rice, what did Mahomes have? Nothing. He had absolutely nothing. And he still was a top 3 quarterback. And he was on pace for 40-plus touchdowns, and he was doing unbelievable. He's only had 2 years where he hasn't done great.
First we go 50, on pace for 50 touchdowns, and then we switched that to, Travis said 31 touchdowns, and now we're up to 40-some touchdowns. So which is it?
I'll just say Kenneth Walker solves all the issues.
Who's on
just
pace
him
for
alone being there
through 12 weeks. I could give you different paces too, but.
Well, anybody can give paces, but the fact is why did he get injured?
I don't know why. I don't know what
everything.
numbers. I don't know what numbers
Kenneth
Travis
Walker solved your question right there, because he didn't have an offensive line. When you have Kenneth Walker, you get the ball out quick. He solves the offensive line.
I said that earlier. I said I think with Kenneth Walker there, it's going to be great for Mahomes.
But Ron,
I said Walker will make up for the decline of how Travis has declined a little bit in his game, which he has.
To be fair, Ron, you came in awfully hot to be taking a stance that's like, I think all of it could work out, because it's kind of like you're going toward the it all work out, but you came in firing hot as if this is a sinking ship.
Do. I always do.
No, I know, but like you can understand how none of this feels like you're saying it can happen. Like, ask the chat. You went absolutely ballistic on this situation, and it's kind of hard to hear you being like, it could work out. You had almost an aneurysm on the
what
show.
I'm saying when I say it. You're not listening to what I say. I said Mahomes is going to have to play like he used to for Allen to be able to step up and be the receiver that you
last year before he got hurt. What do you not get? I mean, like he was doing it.
Yeah, Ron, he was playing amazing last year. That's why I say your stance is kind of.
What was their record again?
Come on, now we're going to go to record. Now we're going to go to record when we're talking about production. Ron, we're talking about.
You're winning games.
Ron, you're spinning this.
How many of those games? Wait, how many of those games did Mahomes win?
Ron, you can't spin this into the NFL win column now. We're talking about production, and now it's going a different direction. You're like, okay, we'll talk about Super Bowls. Like, you can't just shift the conversation.
Not about Super Bowls.
Okay, but we're not talking about wins either. No one was. We never were. You were.
The wins and losses.
Right? What are we talking about here? Now you're going into wins and losses.
Production.
We're not talking about the record. We haven't once in the show talked about the record or anything. This is about production, and you called in about production, and now you're turning it into wins and losses. Jeez. Ron and I.
So it's against the rules to talk about wins and losses?
No, it's not against the rules. You're just clearly shifting. You're shifting the conversation away from the argument, because the argument.
Moving the goalposts.
You are.
No, we're talking about one individual player. We're talking about one player, Patrick Mahomes. I'm not talking about the Kansas City Chiefs.
I thought we were talking about Allen. And then we were talking about Rice. We were talking about
you've made four different arguments that have not been consistent on a single one. I mean, you haven't.
What are you talking about? I haven't been consistent on a single one.
Because Ron, you're talking about wins and losses now.
Well, I'm talking about wins and losses. So what?
You came in about Mahomes in order for Rashee Rice and Cyrus Allen to produce fantasy football points. This, and this has got to happen. Mahomes hasn't been anything. Mahomes this, Mahomes that. Okay, fine. Well, he's got to win games now. Like, you can't just shift the conversation over to wins and losses when the entire argument has been about Mahomes' performance and production. So anyway, neither here nor there. You like Rice?
Okay, so he played for 14 games last year. He finished up pretty much as the 11, right? Position rank 11. He threw for 3,587 and 22 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He also ran for a boatload. Was carrying the team on his back.
And that's 3.
Yeah, he ran for 422 yards and 5 touchdowns
because he had no receivers.
Right. That's 3 games short. So you'd have to add 750 passing yards.
In 2024,
passing touchdowns.
He was also 11th, ranked 11th, and he also threw for 3,900 yards and 26 touchdowns. Right, 11 interceptions, same amount of interceptions, less yardage.
You're taking what you want to take. That's what you're doing.
I'm not taking what I want to take. I'm taking the information of he was quarterback 4, he was quarterback 1, and then the last 3 years quarterback 8, 11, and 11.
Ron, he was injured.
Now, I don't count.
Right.
I know he was injured in 2025. I understand that.
I know he was on pace to be. He was on pace to
He has to be able to play back when he was the top 5 quarterback.
Which is 2 years. Which was 2 years ago when he didn't have receivers. 2 years. Ron,
That's what I said at the very beginning.
He's been one of the most consistent quarterbacks in really the last decade. He hasn't even been outside the top 11. Like, he got injured. He was out for a significant portion of the season. He was still 11. Like, he barely missed 10. He hasn't really finished outside the top 10. Like, you're proving my point even more. Like, what's Mahomes got to do? What's he got to do? The disrespect this guy gets is incredible. 1, 8, 3, 4, 1, 7, 10. And yes, 10 or 11, depending on your scoring.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen since 2021.
What's Josh Allen got to do with it? What's Josh Allen got to do with it? What does Josh Allen have to do with it? What does Josh Allen have to do with anything about this?
Josh Allen hasn't had receivers either.
What does this have to do?
Where are you going with all this?
Where are you going with
this? You're going 90 different directions and can't land.
Has Allen had the receivers he's needed? But yet he's been 1-2, 1-2, 1-1 the last 5 years.
And that's why he's QB1, and that's why I rank him QB. That's why
I'm saying is Mahomes needs to get back to where he was.
This is
Allen hasn't had great wide receivers either.
Ron, this is like, I don't understand where this is even going. Where on earth did Josh Allen get mixed into this? This is my number 1 quarterback. He's my number 1 dynasty quarterback.
Because you're acting like Mahomes is the almighty God, and he's not.
No, where did I say that?
Real. It's just watching.
When have I said anything of the sort, Ron?
Mahomes isn't the best quarterback out there.
No one said I didn't. No one said he was. I never said that.
That's how it came across. Is Mahomes is so awesome, and he's going to do all this wonderful stuff.
He will.
And he's like this.
He will.
Quarterback.
He will.
But Allen is better.
Even your
Allen is better.
Walker's wrong. Your take on Kenneth Walker is completely wrong.
Ron, Allen is better.
How is it wrong? You don't think he's going to be that valuable?
Oh, no, I think Kenneth Walker is going to be insane, but for not the reason you said. You tied him to
Travis. What reasons did I say? Hammer, what reasons did I say?
Well, you could let me finish, then I'd be able to tell you why. He essentially alleviates the entire offensive line issue. Mahomes is not going to have to run around. He can check it down. They're going to be able to run the ball. When's the last time they had a running back? Jamal Charles?
Good point.
When was the last time they had a running back?
Yeah, he didn't have Hunt. He did not have Kareem Hunt when Kareem Hunt had his big year. That was
it's going to be night and day. The offensive line production is going to be unbelievable.
Okay. So Kenneth Walker, and that's why I said he's the biggest piece. You interrupted me, but Kenneth Walker is the biggest piece. Has nothing to do with Kelsey's irrelevant. This is how much he brings to Mahomes in the game. Having a run game and alleviating the offensive line. That's what it is. Not making up for Travis Kelce.
Okay. All right. Let me say something here. You had no idea what reasons I was talking about, and I said it generically.
You said it.
Actually, I said Walker will increase. Yeah, and I mentioned Kelce because who was always the backbone, the always go-to guy, the guy that would get Mahomes all, and they hooked up all the time. Who was that person? I remember it was Kelce. And then in the last couple of years, Kelsey's also lost a step. So, Is he going to do it in the passing game? Probably not, but he's going to do it in the running game. He's going to be important.
What do you mean? What do you mean he's not going to do it in the passing game? He's one of the best pass-catching running backs in the NFL.
Hold on, let me just back up. Let me just back up.
Listening to me.
Let me.
I know he's going to do it in the passing game, but he's going to do it in the running game.
Okay, but let me back up.
He's going to make up what Kelsey didn't do in the passing game.
Right.
So
okay.
Here you are saying he's not going to. Well, what part of he's going to make up for Kelsey production? Do you not understand? And if you want to make a $100 bet on it right now, Hammer, I will make you a $100 bet right now that what I say is true. Mahomes, Walker will take over Kelsey's production.
I'm happy to bet $100.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I always do. But my question is,
All right,
what are you even saying?
Write it down,
What are you
Smitty.
even?
Hold on. Can I interject here? Let me just, since I'm the host of the show. Since I'm the host of the show, I just have a question. Ron, to be honest with you, from being on the side here, Hammer's not going to bet that because he believes all of what you just said. Like, so I don't even understand where that's coming from. Like, of course,
I didn't say that.
of course, I know, but you're saying
believe what he said.
But you're saying put your money where your mouth is. He's not saying that Walker won't replace Kelsey's production. Like Walker's going to replace a lot of. Walker's going to replace.
Basically, he did say that, Smitty. He said Walker's going to be
completely
good for Mahomes, but not for the reasons that you said. And the reason I said was because of Kelsey.
I don't even know what we're arguing here. I don't know what that bet.
That's exactly what he said.
I don't even know what that bet would look like.
All right, so what's the bet? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know what you like.
I don't understand.
I have to put my money where my mouth is. What's the bet?
The bet is that Walker will take over.
How do you measure that?
Kelsey's production.
How do you measure that?
Well, that's like a blanket
Walker will
statement.
be
I can't even
instrumental.
work with that.
Instead of Kelsey being the go-to guy that has always been for Mahomes, it's going to be Walker now.
Wow.
Why would it not be though? I don't understand. I don't understand where we're going with this. I really don't.
That was the reason that I said, and he said it's going to be that way because not for the reasons that you say.
But
that's what I said. That was the reason I said.
What he's trying
to make up the lost production from Kelsey. That's what's Walker's going to do.
But if he loves
that is going to be that he's going to be able to run the ball.
How do we measure this
and open things up?
Can we measure this, Ron? But the thing is, he loves Walker. So like, why would he bet that Walker doesn't do well? And how are you measuring what you're saying to say that he did well, but he didn't do well with Kelsey's? Like, I don't understand what we're even talking about. Hammer loves Walker. He's not going to bet.
Kelsey has lost production in the last 2 years.
We know that, Ron. We know that. We know
that's pretty profound.
We know.
Okay, what are we talking
hold
about?
on. Everybody mute real quick. I got to take control back over the show. Everyone knows that Kelsey's dropping off, Ron. I don't even know how he got here. You think that Mahomes needs to step up. You called in hot because you think, Rice can't be fully trusted. And who's to say that Cyrus Allen's going to do good because Mahomes hasn't turned a wide receiver into something special for a while? That was your initial core argument, which was really hot. You came in hot. You came in swinging. And we're trying to tell you the reason Mahomes looks like he's taken a little bit of a dip is because he hasn't had wide receiver production or Travis Kelce or anything. No run game, nothing. And now he's got Walker. He's got Cyrus Allen. He's got what we believe to be a healthy Rashee Rice. And if that falls off, Cyrus Allen's there to save the day. Worthy should be better with the shoulder, even if you can't trust him. Who cares about Kelce? Walker's taking over. Like, I have no clue what we're even arguing. Everyone here's got to say, this team's going to be remarkably different. And to blame Mahomes for any of that is wild to me. And to suggest that he's got to step up and do his job when he's been QB, let me put it up on screen again, number 11 when he got knocked out of the season with the ACL tear, and he still finished number 11 in 2026 or whatever, 5 that I don't have over here, 2025. He was 10 in 2024. He was 7 in 2023. 1, 4, 3, 8, 1. What's the guy got to do? He's carrying the team on his back with nobody, no help for 2 straight years. And even last year, he had very little help at times, and he still carried the team on his back. It was QB 1, 2, or 3, depending on your scoring before he tore his ACL. What the hell are we talking about? I have no idea. I don't even know. I don't even know what we're arguing. I feel like we're all on the same page and we're just yelling at each other, and we all agree Mahomes didn't do anything. It wasn't his fault, but he didn't do anything until last year when he did do something, and he carried the team on his back, tore his ACL. Now he's got weapons galore. He's going to do amazing. And I don't understand how Walker and Kelce got into this conversation. I have no clue. I think you guys crossed your wires on that one because Hammer loves Walker, and he's not going to make a $100 bet against Walker when he loves Walker, and then there's no way to measure whether he replaces Kelce, not to mention everybody's going to agree Kelce dropping off. Everyone's going to replace Kelce. Like, everyone's got a hand in saying, Kelsey, come on, let me help you out. He looks slow as molasses out there. So Walker's going to catch passes. Walker's run is going to help Mahomes stay healthy. Rashee Rice is going to be an extension of the run, and Cyrus Allen's going to turn into a monster. I don't even know where we're going with this. I do love having Ron Navy back in the building, though. I didn't
follow the Josh Allen. That when that came in, I'm just like, I don't even know where we're going.
In fairness, Ron, you were pulling some random rabbits out of a hat with some of that stuff, like records and then Josh Allen. Like, no one's arguing Josh Allen isn't the number one fantasy football quarterback, but it has nothing to do with saying Mahomes is going to be great, and then now he can't be great because Josh Allen's greater. Like, all those things were just kind of wild rabbits getting pulled out of hats, which I understand. You're coming in hot and spicy. I like it. But I don't know. I do have to get these super chats, so I might have to wrap up the phone line real quick. But let me circle around real quick and get everybody's closing statement. Ron, damn good to have you back. You brought your A game. Oh, he hung up. All right. Let me go to Hammer. Hammer, final thoughts in conclusion.
I think Mahomes to the moon.
All right. Appreciate the call.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it.
All right. Later. Travis, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think we pretty much hit on it all. Like, Mahomes has been doing it on his own, and now not only did they go and pay Kenneth Walker, but they drafted Emmett Johnson, and they still have Brashard Smith. And they have Jaden Ott, who's a good pass game running back. And then Worthy's healthy. Rice is healthy. Cyrus Allen is on the rise. They have guys like Caldwell and Royals in the background, like Tyquan Thornton. Like, there's just an abundance of talent around them now.
Yep. I don't know. Ron got a little hot. I hope he's okay. I don't want him taking anything negative away from this. I love Ron. Okay. Yeah, Ron, call back in. Ron, here, Travis is getting off the line. Ron, it'll just be you and me real quick. Ron, please dial back in. Travis, I'll see you tonight.
Yep, thanks, Smitty.
Yeah. Phone lines are closed, but for Ron Navy, who is the OG of all OGs on this channel, by the way. So show some damn respect for Ron Navy. I don't think anybody isn't in the chat, but if anybody isn't, show some damn respect for Ron Navy. Ron Navy, the phone lines are open for you to call back in. Buka for ETN and Michael Wilson wants Brooks in Boston also. Also, Buka for ETN and Michael Wilson. I don't mind that trade, ETN and Michael Wilson to a degree, but I'd rather Buka. And he wants Brooks in Boston. I mean, I'm not giving up both of that, but no, I'd probably rather have Buka. Hey, Smitty, in a friend, I'm the friend Mark is talking about. I drafted Coleman at the 2.2 and a 12 team to the moon. Oh, okay. Brock, nice work on that. So it was a rookie draft. I'm sorry, Mark. I didn't mean to say that you should have, that is early. I get it. You didn't have a draft pick. I thought you meant in the redraft or inaugural draft or something. It is harder to control. If you don't have a rookie pick, you can't take them. So, Mark, I accept my apology on that. I didn't realize that it was a rookie draft. Say it with me, Ron freaking Navy. We love Ron Navy. He gets worked up in here, but man, Ron Navy is it's a good experience here on this channel. Hey, Smitty, I had the 5 pick in a PPR, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex league. Assuming Gibbs and Bijan and Puka and Chase are gone, who should I take, JT or JSN? I lean JSN almost every time, but I love both of them, and it does depend on what you can get at that second round pick. You know, if you're locked in at a Pickens, then JT makes sense. If you think you can for sure get Jeremiah Love and a Neighbors, Jeremiah Love, and a potential like McBride, then JSN is fantastic. But I do lean JSN just because I've gotten really good teams doing it, and he's fit for that pick. 12 teams, Superflex Dynasty, PPR, Genty or Sharps and Tootin and 20. I don't care about any of this. I love Tootin, but I'm not trading Genty, bro. He's a top 6 overall Dynasty player. It doesn't even make sense to even talk about. As much as we love Tootin, you got to buy Tootin on the cheap. None of that is jiving with me at all, and I'm a big Tootin supporter. There was a clip that dropped today. All the KC wide receivers running routes, and Cyrus looked levels ahead of everyone. Easily the best route runner on the roster. I love that people don't think Cyrus Allen's the best route runner on the roster. It's wild to me. It's definitely bias that controls that, and I understand it. But you got a lot of Rashee Rice shares, it pisses you off. But we've been pumping up Cyrus for a while now. Ron made me even more bullish on Mahomes. Says 39. I don't know where Ron is. I hope Ron's okay. I don't like Ron hanging up on me. Ron's always been the feistiest person in the world, and he loves the battle. And then to have him hang up, I don't know. Redraft Superflex 0.5, or is that 5 keepers? Sorry, redraft Superflex 5 keepers, but I have 6: Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Walker, McBride, Nico, Buka. Any 2 for 2s that you could. Yeah, I mean, if you could try and get rid of like maybe a Nico and probably. Honestly, like Nico and St. Brown or Nico and Walker for, the Genty or above, right? And then the St. Brown and Nico for that JSN or above would probably be where I would take that for sure. Those are, and Buka, Nico and Buka for Pickens or above would even work. And I love Buka, but that's definitely what I would do. Nico's the tougher one to, I think, hold potentially. Targets: Puka, Burrow, Lamar, Henry, Chase Brown, JSN. I don't know what that is. Is that like to maybe another super chat? I'll put that over here. I don't know. Heard something bad. I heard somebody bad mouthing me to tell me to call in. I don't know. I'm not sure. Thank you for the super chat. The Chiefs. Here's Ron Navy. Thank God Ron Navy's back. Ron, my heart has been hurting. My heart has actually been hurting.
No, you gotta realize something, which I haven't realized. I haven't been on, so I haven't been. My wife has not experienced me on the phone like that yet.
Oh no!
So I hung up because she was like looking at me like all crazy.
Oh, okay. So you're not mad at me, okay?
No,
because Ron Navy and I go like at this all the time, and so I'm like thinking to myself like,
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at Hammer. I'm not mad at anybody.
Yeah. Ron, I always picture you and I like at the doctor's office for high blood pressure, and I look over and I see you sitting next to me, and we don't even know we both are there. We're like, hey, doctor's like, you guys got to stop this. What in the hell? You're taking 6 months off your life just by screaming and yelling on the phone line a couple times a week. So did your wife think something was wrong? That's an amazing story. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Is she like packing her bags and going, this guy lost it?
No,
I'm calling the police.
No, not that bad. No, but she's not used to heated phone conversations.
All right. Well, I'm good. I was really worried. This is the first time you've actually hung up, I think, on the phone line. Normally you just... All right. All right, hang tight, Ron, while I read some of these. I'm going to ask you your advice on them. Even if that 27 first rounder is a top 5 last super chat, I'll have to look for this one as well. So let me put this over here. The Chiefs want Allen to be the guy between injuries and off the field issues. They'd rather have the cost-controlled rookie and pay Rice the big contract ? Yeah, they're not paying Rice $100 million guaranteed if Cyrus Allen is the real deal. They would franchise tag him for a year maybe, but they will not give him $100 million guaranteed. It's just not the way the Chiefs operate. And Husseini, you know that as a Chiefs fan. Is Worthy not worth it at the ADP anymore? He could be. Hammer dropping, first of all, Luis dropping the $100 hauler and Hammer dropping the $100 hauler all at the same time. And let's, I love this. Hammer says, extender for tonight. Ron Navy to the moon. This is what it's all about. Even though Hammer and Ron Navy were going at it, sometimes, like in Step Brothers, they weren't friends at first. And then, the drum set scene and all that. And then all of a sudden, they're two best friends that anybody could have. I love how the community can come together. Look at this. Your wife's probably watching going, I don't understand what's going on here. Hammer and you look like you were about to rip each other's heads off, and Hammer just super chatted $100 and said Ron Navy to the moon. What kind of Mickey Mouse operation are you watching? And then Luis says Ron Navy is the GOAT of GOATs, BBQ, the new age to the moon. BBQ, Hammer, Luis, Ron Navy, many others, by the way. New Age Outlaw, but BBQ, Ron Navy, Hammer, Luis, many others are goats on this channel. Ron is the original OG, the original big time, super chat dropping monster. That's why he's got his own emoji. And I kind of feel this a little disrespectful. You guys aren't dropping the Ron Navy emoji over and over and over in the live chat. It's sitting there for you to do it. All right. Thank you, Luis and Hammer, for both dropping those monster super chats. Let me get over to this one. Ron, I'm going to ask you a couple questions here. Sup, Smitty, 10-team PPR, 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, 1 tight end. Going Gibbs at 1.1 to the 2-3 turn. Who do you recommend targeting to pair with them? Would you be opposed to Bowers and another running back? Or what is your take? I'm a big advocate of balance. Ron, I think you are as well. Are you comfortable with, tell me what team you like better, and I'll say what I like better. Gibbs, Bowers, and Neighbors? Or are you scared off of Neighbors? Gibbs, Bowers, and Pickens.
Oh, of course I'm going to say Gibbs, Bowers, and Pickens.
I think Pickens is going to be a top 3 or 4 receiver this year. I know he's top 4 or top 5 last year. I think he could be top 3. I think he's better than CD. I mean, we've always said that, Ron. You and I have gone back.
I think he has better hands. I think he has better hands.
Do you remember that? I think you were on the phone line. Do you remember that time somebody called in randomly and said, who is a receiver that people don't understand is as good as they are that could be like the top 5 or whatever? And you remember when I think you were on the phone line and we said George Pickens.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he's in Pittsburgh where he doesn't quite get fed properly. Kind of seems like a diva, which I've flipped on. He's not a diva at all. I mean,
see?
He's not.
I said that before,
I know.
Though, but
you're right.
We got the debate about that.
You're right. He's not a diva at all.
I blame it all on Tomlin for not being able to coach him.
I agree. Ron was 100% on that. But I do feel like a diva wouldn't be able to endure what he endured this offseason. To produce at a top 5 level and have your owner and GM tell you you're not worth it. Prove it again. And for Pickens to be like, his agent told him to hold out of OTAs. He didn't want to. And if you remember during Super Bowl week when he was interviewed, they're like, what do you think about your contract? And he's like, I'm not even worried about that. He's all smiles, just a happy guy. Very, very genuinely nice guy. I would venture to say Pickens, if you ran into him, might be the nicest player you would ever meet in the NFL that's currently active in the NFL. That's how much of a diva he is not. Because this guy is such a likable person when you talk to him. He's all about his team. And have you ever seen 2 rivals love each other more than CeeDee Lamb and Pickens? I've never seen it. Lamb was asked the other day what Pickens can do this year, and Lamb said he'd be the number 1 wide receiver. He could be the number. Like, where's that kind of love in a locker room with this kind of level of talent? We thought BTJ and maybe Hunter were going to have that, and it wasn't. But this is like true bromance right here over in Dallas. Like, these guys absolutely can't live without each other. This is what's going to make it disgusting if Jerry can't keep this thing together. But I agree with you, and those are the ways that I'm going about this, bro. It's either McBride, Pickens, and Gibbs, or it's Gibbs, Neighbors, and Pickens, or something along those lines. Now, would I go running back? Yes, but you have to make one of them one of them Pickens or Neighbors. Or you could go Rice, but I think Rice is more risky than all these guys, so I'm not taking Rice until those guys are off the board. So I'm not traditionally drafting Rice at the 2-3 turn. I'm drafting Rice at like the 25, 26, 20, or 27, 28, 29. But if you go Jeremiah Love and Gibbs, you have to take Pickens or Neighbors. Come out with balance. Do not walk out going running back, Bowers, running back. I don't think it would be smart of you. You won't love your team as much. It's a great question, though, Frankie. A lot of people have this question. Aaron says, hey, Smitty, just drafted my squad. Thoughts, JD5, Caleb, Genty, Hendy, Tootin, Brooks, Washington, Sun God, London, Ladd, Down, Cyrus Allen, and Fannin. I like the team a lot. Genty, Hendy. Do you like, who do you like better this year, Hendy or Tootin, Ron, if you had to pick one? Knowing their situations, kind of cloudiness around both of them, but getting named co-starter, Tootin. Hendy he's being talked about by beat writers as being a 50-50 guy this year. So in this sense, they both are co-starters, finally. Probably equally, given the volume. Who do you like?
I want to say Hendy because he can just gone in an instant. I think he's faster. I don't know. Maybe he's not, but he seems faster to me. And
you know what's crazy is,
but the problem is I think Ramonde takes more away from Hendy than in Tootin's situation. I think he's going to have the ball more, and so that might be the swing fact. So if I'm looking at it like that, I'll go with Tootin simply because he's going to have the ball a lot more.
You know what's crazy, Ron? Let me put this up on screen here. Fastest player times I have. Let me go to the RBs real quickly and grab the speed data, which this all can be found at thefantasyfootballshow.com. So make sure you get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com and get all your advanced metrics and data. I've completely revamped the site. Ron, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's completely different. It's the best website, in my opinion, you'll ever come across for football, thefantasyfootballshow.com. But this data right here, JT...
I'm a lifetime member.
Well, but I don't know if you've been on there, I'm saying, since I've revamped the whole thing. Jonathan Taylor, 22.38 miles per hour, fastest running back last year on a run. Gibbs was second, Gibbs was third, Gibbs was fourth. So Gibbs is 3 in a row. JT was 1, Gibbs is 2, 3, and 4. Hendy was 5, Barkley was 6, Bijan Robinson was 7, Barkley was 8, Krosky Merritt, then Henderson again. So Henderson has 2 of the top 10 fastest runs last year. Gibbs has 3. These are probably the 2 fastest running backs in the league, essentially. But there is thinking that Tootin is actually faster, or if not exactly as fast. And his coach, the GM, and Tootin himself all separately said that Tootin could run a 4.28, 4.2 something right now, which is unbelievable. And then he was asked about it there. Could you run faster than the 4.38, the combine 4.38? And that's how fast Tootin was. And he said, oh, yeah, I'm in the 4.2s for now. I get 4.28, something like that. And they said, are you the fastest player in the league? And he said, the only person that could give me a run for my money is BTJ. Which, that's his teammate, so he might be kind of buttering him up. But BTJ is also really quick. But I would probably say that Gibbs, Hendy, and Tootin are the fastest 3 running backs in the National Football League. So that is
faster than Achane?
I think, yeah. I mean, Achane didn't have one of those. I know you could say Tootin didn't either, but Tootin wasn't.
No, I know, but there's a difference. I mean, when we're talking fastness, there's the speed of just running fast, and then there's the speed after being able to get elusiveness to be able to get open and then hit that long run.
I would say Hendy.
Fast, so.
I'd say Hendy doesn't have the burst that Achane or Gibbs or Tootin have. That where like the hole's closing and they're on the 9-yard line, they do a draw play, and the defense is closing and it's an impossible run, like elevator doors closing. The 3 running backs in the league that are going to get there if it's an impossible closing door and get there untouched. Achane, Gibbs, and Tootin. The most explosive, get off the line, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. That type of speed, those guys. Hendy doesn't have that. Hendy has the top end speed that's as fast as Gibbs and anybody else. But I would say Tootin has that explosiveness. Achane, Gibbs, Tootin. So Achane doesn't have, I don't think he's very fast, obviously, but his explosiveness is what's on par with like Gibbs and everything. But yeah, he's definitely in the top like 15. I would say probably Achane's right there. JT's super quick, but yeah, the acceleration. Nobody accelerates faster than Tootin, Gibbs, and Achane. Nobody. That's what's going to make Tootin a superstar. Because Tootin has the speed Hendy has. He has the speed that Gibbs has, but he has the acceleration that Gibbs has. And that's why Gibbs is number 1, because he has the acceleration that Achane has. He has the acceleration that anybody has. He also has the speed that anybody has. That's what makes Gibbs the number 1 overall player. Bijan doesn't have the acceleration that Achane or Gibbs or Tootin have, but he's still the most well-rounded running back in the league. All right, so this is a really good team. Love the squad. I would probably say if it was me, I mean, I could stand down on that team. That team is really, really good. Genty, Hendy. I don't know that I want to trade much. You probably wait for Brooks and Hendy to get trade value if you were to even try and trade them. London, I always worry a little bit about London when he's producing like a top 5 wide receiver. Maybe you look to shop him. But I love him. I think that team's really good. I give that team like an 8 out of 10, meaning I probably don't touch it unless somebody knocks on the door and gives me an amazing offer, because I don't know that you can even sell anybody on the high except for Sun God, which I would do. So like Sun God down to Pickens to upgrade, let's say when the time is right and Brooks has the value for it. And you might want to test it now because his value is climbing. But you could go Sun God and Brooks for a Pickens and running back higher than Brooks or something like that if you wanted. You know, you could move, try and get into Gibbs somehow using Genty and use Sun God down to the wide receiver. Like, I don't know. Like that could work. But other than that, like stand down. Rebuilder trade, 28 first rounder for Tyson. I like that. I also give a 28 first rounder for Cyrus Allen. Chase Brown, Buka, 1.6 for 26, 1.1. Olave in a second. That's crazy you haven't drafted your rookie draft yet. That's wild. So you Chase Brown, Buka, and the 1.6 for Jeremiah Love, Olave in a second. I would take, Ron Navy, would you rather have Chase Brown and Buka and the rookies 1.6, or would you rather have Jeremiah Love, Olave in a second, rookie second?
The first, because I'm not big on Olave. He's got too many concussions. He scares me. I like Jeremiah Love. I mean, he's awesome, but the combination, I don't want Olave.
Yeah. Okay. I think that I probably would agree that Buka and Chase Brown, like Jeremiah Love is amazing, but Chase Brown's kind of there, and Buka is ahead of Olave for me. But I don't know. This is a tough one. Olave's so good. Travis, what's your vote on this? Because you're a pretty big I think you're a pretty big Olave guy, so I'd like you to get your take on this one. Let me know what you think on this one. And you're a Chase Brown believer, so truther. So I think you'd have a good take on this one. I guess I lean toward the Buka Chase Brown by a hair, but I can really get behind the Jeremiah Love side pretty quickly. It's really, really close. I don't think you'll be, you're going to be wrong either way. I truly think that both sides will win on that. Thank you, Luis and Hammer, again for these monster super chats. This one here, even if it's a 27 first rounder, what was that question too, though? Let me go find your original super chat for both of you, because these were like attached to something. Sorry we got your wife all worried about you, Ron. And I don't want you to get all upset or something, Ron. And
no, it's not like that. But I had to get off so I could explain.
Okay, 12-team Superflex Dynasty PPR, Genty or Charbonnet, and so you're saying, what was the question? Even if it's a 27-1 is a top 5. Yeah, even if it's top 5. If it was 1.1 or 1.2, I think we'd have to reconvene and break it down, but it'd even be tough to do it. If it was the 1.1, I could take Jeremiah Smith and Tootin over Genty. But if it's the 1.2, I think even then I'm having like a discussion and we're like dragging it out and we're trying to figure out what is what. David has a super chat question here. He says targets Puka Nacua. So what is the question here? Any 2 for 2s? Any trade ideas? So I gave you my thoughts on maybe Amon-Ra, right? And Nico. You said targets were Puka. I'd definitely in a Superflex give up both for Burrow since you're like keeping one, right? I give up both for probably Nico and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know if I'd do it for Puka because I don't trust Puka. JSN I would. I'd say JSN. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. And Ron, I don't mean to keep, if you want to stay on the phone line, I'm glad to have you here and you can help me answer some of these questions, but you don't have to feel obligated to. But I like having you here. We like having you back, bro, for sure. What about
I'm
this?
good. I wanted to ask you a question too.
Okay. Should I trade Dart for Purdy straight up? I would rather have, man, what do you think on that? Because Dart is just a loose cannon, man. Him and Scatterboo don't have a freaking ounce of logic in their head when it comes to their health. They really don't. You know, I don't know if you saw Dart get leveled in that preseason game. Dart takes a snap, walks back, gets freaking drilled, and his head whiplash, and he went face first into the ground, Ron, if you didn't see it, and he wasn't moving for about about 2 Mississippis. He wasn't moving at all. And then he starts to kind of get up, and then they take him to the tent. God forbid, they take a guy that was motionless for 2 or 3 Mississippis, and they take him to the tent, check him out, clear him, and send him back out. And he's got a problem. He's at the talking to reporters after the game, going, "I don't understand why I'm in the tent." Like, that guy doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to his health. But he goes back out there after the tent, throws a touchdown, just drills Fields in the end zone for a score. What an amazing snag. I love Malachi Fields, by the way. So, like, he is a dog. He's an absolute dog. And I love him, but is he going to stay healthy? I'd probably take the gamble on Dart because I think Mac Jones is even better than Purdy. And that's not a knock on Purdy either. I like Purdy. He's really, really good for the system. But I kind of think, like, I'd go Dart, but you better back him up. And Purdy's no walking, source of health either. That guy's constantly injured. So I'd probably say Dart. Would you say Dart over Purdy, Ron?
Actually, no. Not at this point right now, because I don't think we've gotten a really good sample out of Dart yet. And Purdy, with the compliments of receipt with Debo and them around him, he's really accurate, and I mean he's consistent. And I don't know if Dart's going to have that consistency that Purdy has right now.
I will say that Dart needs
to learn.
I'd say Purdy and Mac Jones together would be safer. So you can cuff that pretty easy. Thoughts on Monty versus Tootin? Also, Washington running back room. Thank you, Mark, for the freaking $20 super chat. You straight up savage you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Mark to the moon. I think, Monty can't even hold Tootin's jockstrap. The fact that the ADP for Monty is in the 4-5 turn is asinine to me. We just saw Woody Marks get just completely leveled, and he was living in the blue tent, which wasn't his fault. Their offensive line's been garbage. We'll have to see how Stroud rebounds this year, but the offensive line was garbage. Their offensive coordinator is garbage. The situation is, in my opinion, offensively garbage. And so I'm probably just going to tell you that while the cost of entry will allow you to get away with getting Tootin later, this is an easy call for me, Tootin over Monty. Washington running back room, it might not feel it's boring, but it's Rachaad White. I love grabbing Bill and White together in a best ball late, but I can't trust the room unless I just have probably Rachaad White or just have Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt, separately, just sitting on the bench. I don't know that I'm trying to plan around it being my managed league running back option because it'll be confusing. You won't get it right. In best ball, you could just have both of them, and you'll probably get some good rotational success that has no requirement of you to set your lineup in best ball. So, but Tootin over by a country mile, Thanks again for that super chat. Let me just get these others on screen here real quickly. Let's see here. Can we count the 100 as an extender? We absolutely can. Luis, thank you for that super chat. Grim dropping his bold prediction right here in a $5 super chat, which Luis dropped that 50 for him. So let's go over to the bold predictions and read off his super chat. Ron Navy has a super chat on here that's sitting right in front of my face too. Let me read this one after. Bold prediction is via Luis. Bengals versus Rams Super Bowl rematch. Bengals win. Bengals revenge tour. That would be bold enough. If you call that and you get the winner, that would be really, really good. Ron says Raiders make the playoffs. Mendoza wins a playoff game. I like that one, Ron. That's bold as hell, and I like that. I like it. That's a really, really fun prediction. And Mendoza looks like a monster. He's such a good kid, and he's so focused. And Tom Brady, schooling him, he looks so efficient in that game. He might become one of the, I don't know. I don't want to say like he's going to become one of the greatest. I'm not going to say something like that, but he's going to become one of the most like efficient and I don't know, accurate and just like kind of like who's the best quarterback comp for that? That it's like he's not becoming Josh Allen. He's not becoming JD5. He's not, but he's just so smooth and good for winning and good for a team. Like a Troy Aikman, who's a quarterback that comes to mind current day or not too long ago in terms of Mendoza. Like, who could he be? Who could he become comparatively?
He can become like Brady since Brady's there and mentoring him. He could become exactly like Brady.
He's so smart, and he's got such a good team that they're building around him. And people that don't know non-ball knowers will act like the Raiders are the Raiders. Oh, they're the Raiders. I accidentally dragged this on screen. I better get out of here before I end up breaking something on the bold prediction board. Hold on. Let me go back over here. Okay, this one here is from Nate. Nate says 10-team dynasty, two flex, one super flex. Give Rice, Burden, and Braylon Allen. Rice, Burden, and Braylon Allen. He's the Breece owner for Neighbors. Give Rice, Burden and Rice is a lot. But I love Neighbors. Ron, do you think Neighbors could be the number 1 or 2 wide receiver like in a year's time? Are you not a believer yet? You need to see him stay healthy and all that. Are you?
If he can stay healthy, I mean, yeah, he's got to stay healthy, but he has all the ability to do so.
I'd take Neighbors. I'd take the gamble on that. It's a gamble, but it's a fun gamble. It's an absolute fun gamble. You got to understand the gamble you're taking. It's definitely a gamble. This one here from Ivan. I don't know what the conversion is, but thank you for the super chat. I'm in a keeper league, and I have the two spot. One is Bijan, and the other, I have to choose between Lamb and Hampton. Who should I choose? I'd rather have Achane if he's there. I'd rather have probably. I like balance, but I would rather have Achane. JT Achane. But I do think Hampton's the one I lean toward, but I don't know what your wide receivers will look like. If you believe you can get Neighbors, who I got in the 4.5 in a 10-man league, if you can get Neighbors or Rice as your wide receiver 1, I do lean Hampton, I suppose. However, I don't know that, and so my answer is going to be balance. I like Bijan and Lamb. Quite honestly, Lamb is the top 8 overall pick, so I don't think you're crazy to draft Lamb. I will say I think Pickens could outscore him this year. So part of me is like tempted to be like, can you move down and just take Pickens? You know, you could take Pickens over him. I don't really understand how Lamb would be available to you because he's a top 8 overall pick. But every platform's so different with a couple of these guys. It's hard to really say, you know, that you can't see this or you can't see that because people are seeing different things. Thoughts on this team, 12-man team? JD5, JT, ETN, AJB, Ibuka, Goddard, Adams, bench, Brooks, down, Stribling, Mitchell, JD5, JT. I love the team. Love the team. Buka, don't have a sad face. He's fine. Stop listening to everybody on that. Adams is great. This is a good team. Brooks on the bench, Stribling. I like it a lot. Only move I would even contemplate making would be something along the lines of Adams and Brooks together. I think when the value's there to go get one big monster, or you could take one of the two and try and upgrade, let's say ETN slightly. And I think ETN's good, but could you try and climb? You could always climb unless you have Gibbs, you know, or Chase. Thoughts on Evans' injury? Thoughts on Jadarian Price? Love Jadarian Price. He's one of our biggest breakouts this year. And he's going in that 7th round range in some grandma league, 6.2, 6.3 on underdog, but it's still worth it. It's just a little less building in the risk with that 6th round value, but he certainly could do it. Evans is just icing. He's icing his quad. There's no. I think people are jumping to conclusions on that one. Hurst, Douglas, or Bell in redraft. I would go probably Bell if you're picking somebody to wait on. And if you need the now production, I would go Douglas. But I do think if you're not expecting anything from the spot, I would go probably with the Chris Bell long-term option, even though it's redraft setting or if it's dynasty especially. But he's looking like he's coming along really fast. Luis is live on the phone line, and then I'm going to wrap up the show, be back at midnight Eastern. Luis, what can I do for you? What do you hear? What do you say?
Yes, sir. First thing is you don't hear any background noise right now because I'm driving in my car again.
No, it's fine.
Nothing of that, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, cool. The first thing is so I'm doing a league and I'm drafting A, and I kind of already have my mindset on what I'm gonna do. I just please tell me if I'm crazy. So, in the number 8, in the first round, I'm gonna pick Genty, and then on the turn, Kenneth Walker will be there just because I already know how these people draft. I'm gonna go A-Chan. So I guess what it really comes down to, do you think going A-Chan over Kenneth Walker in a 10-man half?
I take A-Chan at 9. Yeah, I take A-Chan at 9 if he's there. Yeah. I'm fine with it. But what I will say is that Pickens is nice too. If you know,
for sure. Well, I know wide receivers will fall.
Okay, then I'm fine with it. A-Chan's a first rounder. A-Chan and Genty are both top 8 picks. Easy.
For sure. And then the second thing will be, we play the Cyrus video. I mean, you play it, not us, but you play the Cyrus video a lot. Has anybody else thrown you a video about them screaming this thing out loud? I mean, I know I did, but I don't know if there's any competition. Do I need to step up my game? What do I need to do?
I'll check on it. I've been so busy, I haven't. I got to comb through my DMs, but we'll definitely figure that out. So the contest is whoever can yell Cyrus Allen in public, you know, and send me the video, you know, at the drive-through. This guy went to, like, what's it, Target? Where were you in? Like a Target? And he goes, Cyrus Allen! Walmart?
Yeah.
That was great.
I did a little speech. You know, I'll do it again. It was just like,
okay.
It was a day off. I just had to do it.
All right.
But with time, I can definitely come up with something very good.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is, thank you for taking the second extender.
Yes, sir.
I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's just, man, the show of the people, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the extenders and the super chats, and appreciate you. See you tonight. Later, bro.
Luis.
Yes,
oh, hold on. Ron wants to yell at you real quick.
Again, while you're online, congratulations. It took years. I've been waiting for years for somebody to drop me down, and congratulations on that. I just want to tell you since you're on the phone.
Yeah. Two highest super chatters of all time on the phone together.
Yeah, I mean,
and Hammer, just to be fair, Hammer's right there too overall, but so just want to give Hammer his flowers too, because Hammer's been amazingly dropping.
Hammer has been.
And I just don't want to leave Hammer out of this conversation just because it came collectively at once. So I don't mean to, but yes, Luis dropping that massive, insanely crazy night on everybody was wild, and he knocked Ron Navy off.
Hey, just so you know, and I don't know if Smitty let you know this, but if you're going to do like a huge amount like that, actually he'll get more money if you send it through PayPal.
Really?
The super chat, yes.
But yeah, he's saying it because YouTube takes like 30% of everything, so he's just saying that.
Yeah, YouTube takes 30%. So if you send it to his LLC, you still got that same one, Smitty?
Yeah. I'll
you might want to let people know if they're going to donate a huge amount, maybe send it there instead, and then you'll just post it online like you did with mine.
Yes, sir.
And that way he gets to keep more of the money.
I appreciate that.
YouTube does it.
Yeah, no, I honestly did not know that.
No worries.
No, that's why I'm bringing it up.
No
worries.
No, that's Well, to be honest with you, Ron, you were.
And you can give more at one time too. You can give more at one time. Like if you wanted to drop $2,000 at once, you can do that through PayPal. You can't do that with a super chat.
If you wanted to do it.
Do that. No, I know, because it locks you out at 500. That's kind of what I found out that day. I'm like, what the heck?
It does a good job to have.
So, if you wanna do big amounts, he gets to keep more of it if you send it through the PayPal.
All right.
No,
hey,
sure. Okay.
I got to run real quick, guys. But tonight,
hey,
midnight
Smitty,
Eastern.
before you go.
Yeah.
Before you go, I wanted to ask you that question. I know how I feel about it, but what you think? JJ has a huge year this year with Murray?
No, I mean, he could, but I'm not. I've been very down on JJ because they haven't named Kyler the starter until just recently. They've been giving him half reps, getting him half prepared. I'm running away from the first round value that he has. He's not like he's going in the middle of the second to give us a little protection. He's going at 9, 10 overall. I just can't. I'd rather Pickens over JJ, straight up. Like, if I had JJ and someone offered me Pickens, I wouldn't even ask for anything. I'd just take the trade straight up. I'm drafting Pickens over JJ. I'm drafting Bowers over JJ. I'm drafting Achane over JJ. And so that means that I'm just not going to own JJ because those guys are so far down and spread out through the turn, round 1 and 2 turn, and into the middle of the second round. It means I'll never draft JJ again this rest of this year. And if I'm wrong, I'm not even going to be wrong, as I tell Miss Smitty all the time. Even if I'm wrong, I'm not wrong, because I'm drafting a guy that's going to hang with JJ no matter what, and he's safer. So it's like, if I'm wrong, then I'll shake the hands of the people that have drafted JJ. Go, you did good. Okay, it worked out. But they're shaking my hand going, yeah, your guy worked out too. And I had no risk. That's what it really comes down to. JJ's high risk, high reward. I'll draft a guy that's lower risk, the same high reward. It's that simple, really, to me.
Hey,
well,
Smitty.
I actually think he's going to have a big year this year.
He could. All right, got to roll, boys. Luis,
Hey,
last thing, real quick.
Last one. I'm not going to be on tonight. Like, this is the people show. This ain't for me. Community, Ron to the moon. Ron is the GOAT. I dropped dude, I don't know what's going on with my internet. Like, I don't know. It's been tripping out all day. Anyways, but I dropped 100 on the Rumble. So
sweet.
It's over there. So
attaboy.
Yeah,
all right, I'll go look at it. Thank
you.
you.
That as extender.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Cool.
Appreciate you. Later.
Ron,
I'll see you later, Ron.
All right, later, chat.
Thanks. Ron Navy, Luis, 2 highest super chatters of all time. Hendy or Tootin, who finishes higher? I'm gonna say Tootin right now, but I think Hendy per game could be scoring higher. So the answer is both of them. The answer is I want both of them. That's the bottom line. Smitty walked away with Chase, Genty, May, Rice, Hendy, Tootin, RJ, Kyron, Tyson, Keaton, Coleman, QBs, Shuck. I still feel thin at wide receiver, but I can get Cyrus off waivers. Definitely do that. Rice and Cyrus together, you should have drafted that, so definitely go do it. Kyron would be a good piece to move. So Kyron maybe... Honestly, I'd keep Cyrus, but I'd go Kyron and Rice for just a stronger player, and then get maybe you can get a Jonathan Brooks and JSN. Go shopping for that JSN type and see what running back you could steal off the roster and replace Kyron. I love Kyron, but would Jonathan Brooks suffice? I think he would over Kyron if you're getting that wide receiver bump. Past that, don't trade Hendy low, don't trade May low, don't trade Tootin low, don't trade RJ Harvey low. Make sure you got Coleman good. Tyson Keaton, love the team. That's the only thing I'm considering. Love the squad. Definitely an amazing team. Membership question: dynasty, rookie, free agent draft, Mitchell or Coleman? I would probably say Mitchell is kind of he's got so much upside because of McDaniel's system. Coleman's safer, but they're both must players to get. I would find a way to get both. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say Coleman because the hype is high and he feels a little bit closer to being a starter to people. And then you can get Mitchell as well a little easier if you go Coleman first. But that's just my take for now. Love both of them. I could rotate in any moment, just so you know. Membership question here. Buka for ETN and Wilson wants Brooks. I think I already answered that one. I definitely not giving Brooks or Boston with it at all, because I'm not even trading Buka for ETN and Wilson. I like Buka more, but I do love ETN. I don't mind where that trade's going, but it has to be a different trade. Thank you all. Appreciate it. We got 427 of you here on YouTube. Please hit the thumb up button on the way out the door. Subscribe if you're new. Luis dropping a super chat. I don't know if anybody else dropped a super chat over here. We had Hammer dropping the 50. We had Hammer then dropping the 100, and then Luis dropping an additional 100 on the the Rumble super chat environment. Luis, thank you very much for the $100 super chat. Hammer, thank you for the 150 over on Rumble. You straight up savage. Luis, thank you for dropping the additional. We got some extenders galore going on for the later show. It's Pizza Party. Could this be an extender for tonight's show? Yes, it can, kind sir. Ron freaking Navy to the moon. Here's my Brady respect. The OGs, appreciate you. Luis, thank you. Hammer, thank you all. Thank you, Ron Navy. Thank you, all you super chatters. Thank you to the moderators. See you at 8 p.m. Eastern, or midnight tonight. Appreciate everybody. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. almost every single Monday through Friday. Live at midnight Eastern almost every single night at midnight. So tonight we'll be live at midnight. I don't think I missed a midnight in 6 straight months, 7 days a week, midnight Eastern. I don't think I've missed one for 6 months, maybe longer. And then we're live when big news breaks almost every time. See you all at midnight Eastern. Thank you all. Thank you, moderators. If I missed anybody's super chat or screwed it up, just leave a question in the comments of the video, not the live chat, in the comments of the video, and put like a bunch of like exclamation points or, you know, red emojis or something. Don't abuse it. If you didn't ask the question, I'll know. And then I won't answer your question at all. But I try and get back to as many questions as I can in the comments anyway. But if I missed your super chat, please alert me in the comments. Thank you. Travis, thank you. Ron Navy, Hammer, Luis, Husseini. You know, I said earlier how much I appreciated Hammer and Luis and Ron. I appreciate Husseini a lot too. Husseini's been he had a super active offseason with us in terms of, you know, gifting and making sure this channel was taken care of. So Husseini, if you're watching, BBQ, such a monster BBQ. But Husseini, appreciate you too. And everybody else that's done it, I'm sorry if I'm not even calling everybody out at once. Appreciate you, Husseini. Appreciate you, BBQ. See you all at midnight Eastern.